Hello, everyone. I can't see your commentary yet. Let me just check. Is the chat not working again? Why is the chat not working again? Why is the chat not working? Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to fix the chat. I don't know what's going on with the chat. Why is it also not taking me to Streamlabs Center straight away? Sorry, guys. 1 second. The time has come. Indeed, the time is here. Sorry. What is this? Why is Streamlabs doing this? Oh, the chat's back. Yeah, I had a haircut, but it was on Friday. No idea what's going on there with the chat, why it wasn't showing. Hello, everyone. Yeah, right, we're going to start quickly with the Wordle. Hold on. I just want to move Discord out the way in case I start getting messages. No. Right, here we go. Yeah, that's the view out my window that you're seeing there. The hills. I want to start with something beginning with I. No, we started with that the last time. Ogres, we're going to start with. Oh, okay. Gonad. That's a good guess. Ooh, okay. Doggy. No, it's probably not that. Burger, please. No, I'm not saying burger. I'm not saying that. Really great podcast. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It got a massive boost in followers and subscribers. I thought it was a... Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the ads on YouTube. There's a huge amount of adverts. I haven't switched anything, but they're pumping out adverts. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I kind of need it. I kind of need it just because obviously, you know, that's how I make revenue off these. I'm going to try doubt, even though it can't be that. Let's see if it starts with a D-O. Okay, it does. Is it actually doggy? Is it dodgy? It's dodgy. That wasn't a terrible guess. I didn't see anyone get it. But, I see Piss Missile now. But, yeah, I got that myself. I'm proud of myself. Right, time for the connections now. Hope you're all doing good. I keep getting AI slop ads. Do you? I mean, I just get those fucking, like, Evany ads where it's like, this game is amazing. Or Whiteout Survival. I like that one. I want to play some Whiteout Survival. Oh, yeah. It's a real game. It's a great episode, though. Good. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it. What did you say? It's a great episode. Keeps it like this forever. I probably won't keep my hair like this forever. It just got a bit wet. I showered earlier, way earlier today, because I needed to put my contact lenses in after the gym. But you can't shower with them in, so I was faffing around. And I took my contact lenses out because I thought it was a bad idea to stream with them on. Right, sorry. When is the podcast going to get Bombers socks? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Chris, do a Whiteout Survival advert. Monster and Celsius are energy drinks. Is it Monster Celsius? I've never heard of Celsius. Monster Energy. Bumper Energy. You dressed up for Noah, but not for us. I just wanted to wear this today, okay? I just wanted to wear this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Hello, Lemon Mint Cat. And I apologize for not dressing up for Noah. Noah deserved it, though. He was very good in the stream. Remember Raid Shadow Legends? What was that, an Israeli game? It's a load of crap. I remember Raid Shadow Legends. Everyone having a sponsorship from them. Titanic Monster. Oh, you think it's one of these? Giant. What was the other then? I have a hat that says, I am fleeing the American century of humiliation. Can you show me where to buy White Monster Energy? That's an amazing thing. I like I like White Monster. What do you think that the other large one is? Qualifier, dive, cold, hole, final, joint, semi, Celsius, bumper? Is that it? Yeah, enormous. Bumper harvest. Thank you. I got it before you saw that. Dive bar, dive dump, hole. I could use some light-hearted stuff. I don't know that there is much light-hearted stuff. Did you? So I'm guessing from what you're saying, you guys enjoyed the episode. It also did really well. Chris goes the mustache and everyone goes crazy. I know. By the way, some Tony Soprano lover mentioned this to me, and we'll talk about it a bit later. Some quite horrible fucking comments about Noah being beady-eyed, and I didn't know this, but Noah's Asian, so it's kind of quite racist. Dive, joint, and dump. So dive, joint, dump, hole. Yeah, that's it. Disreputable establishment. I thought it might be that. But I didn't get... I don't know why joint... Joint is... Does joint sound like that? You love me and Noah. Good. I don't like Isaac is the main issue. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the podcast. I think we've got some cool guests coming up and some cool stuff. Semi-quarter, qualifier, final. Those are all things to do with like a tournament. I don't know what these are. What C might mean. Oh, one of you got this. C means cold. 100. Why would C mean 100? What? I don't get this one. 30? I'm English mother tongue, and I don't think it has that connotation. Yes, joint is maybe American slang for a low-effort establishment. Yeah, I just thought joint meant, like, you know, place. I didn't know that it had a negative connotation. Oh, my arms are tired. C on tap is cold. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, okay. Yeah. I see what you mean. We'll do the spelling bee as well, because there's a lot to talk about today, so may as well take a little break at first. Fungi. That's one. Fumigate. Don't have any of those words. Wu-Tang. Joint does mean place. Yeah, I knew joint meant place. C is a Roman numeral. Oh, okay. I thought it was century, but yeah. Koakusen. Whinging. That's a good one. Or winging. Is whinging spelt the same as winging? Am I being stupid? To whinge. Whinging. No, it has a W. Of course it does. That's stupid. I mean, winning is another. Oh, that's all I'm allowed to do today. Fucking pathetic. I knew that whinge had a H like that, but I, for some reason, wasn't thinking that that would have it. For some reason. Fungi. Winning I got. Fawn. Good one. No, it needs an I. Fawning. That's actually would have been a good one. I think we could have made that. Century comes from centum, which is Greek for 100. 100. Nice, thank you for that. I guess we can watch a bit of Zach Polanski stuff before we start the stream, because this was kind of funny. Zach Polanski had this lady rattled, Andrea Jenkins.
I've only been leader for 3 months, but it's not really about me versus Nigel Farage. It's about his form of hate and division versus the politics of actually doing something about the broken system, about tackling inequality and offering hope to people. And I know this is breaking through because I can't get anywhere without someone stopping me and saying, even though I disagree with some of the things you're saying, I know you believe it. And you're giving me hope because I'm finally seeing a politics that actually believes in something. Now, I obviously have a huge job to do to get more people to agree with me. Nigel's very, very toxic and divisive, though.
Rubbish.
What we get from Nigel Farage is culture wars. And if culture wars was going to fix anything, we'd absolutely be thriving as a country.
I do like Zach Polanski. I find him very interesting.
What you get with the Green Party.
We've got far more policies out than you, Zach.
And all the policies are divisive and don't actually do anything to tackle wealth inequality in this country. Nigel Farage is a charlatan. He's a man who says he's a man of the people.
God.
He's a man of the
This lady just whining the whole time is so funny. It's Andrea Jenkins.
Wealthy people.
You know, you're losing the
It's not the interviewer. She's a mayor that defected to reform.
argument.
And she just goes,
If you call someone a
Let him
charlatan.
get to the end of the sentence. Then
And ultimately what the Green Party are doing are looking to represent the 99%. Nigel Farage says he's a populist. A populism is someone who is for the 99% versus the 1%. Nigel Farage literally represents the 1%, which is why your MPs are multimillionaires and billionaires.
Oh, what rubbish. Oh, my God.
Well, that's true, isn't it?
Oh, no way.
Andrew, don't you
What,
think
they're not
that's-
millionaires?
It's also really funny because it's very obvious that anyone associated with Reform UK are pretty incompetent at what they do. And any time that they're pressed in any serious way, they fall apart. But obviously, British media isn't doing that. Like, you know, Polanski presses her a bit and she just goes,
Leave aside the policies and you'll...
I meet pensioners all the time who are saying, don't let anyone tell you this is just about young people. I'm really happy that young people are supporting me, but I'm meeting lots of older people who go, we care about the climate crisis. We care about the nature crisis. We're one of the most nature-depleted countries in the world. Yeah. Well, there are lots of crises around because the government that you're a minister of, have absolutely decimated this country.
oh, God. I worry about left-wing economic messaging that's tied up to with green policies. It's important and makes sense, but they'll already be battling uphill. So even Boris Johnson said that the UK government should be not delaying on the net zero agenda, that they should actually be focused on it, because if they keep pushing it back, no one will have faith in it. And he was actually very critical of Rishi Sunak for moving back on it. But listen to this one as well.
There's a huge opportunity here to have whole new industries and invest in public
Well, that's a good point. This could actually work well for you guys to say, look, we're going big.
Hey, meniscus. It is utterly ridiculous. And it works. The one membership works. Thanks for the gifted membership. Liar Judas, enjoy your membership. What channel is this from? This is from Jeremy Vine. This guy's whiny and he's cycling.
EVs.
No.
I mean, Silent Scythe was here, but I'm not sure she'll be able to stay. But I don't know. I don't think Henry's here or anyone else.
And it's not practical, Zach. I mean, rural areas like ours, and there's where you haven't got the charging points, etc. But I believe in choice, Jeremy. I mean, I also think that Kem has been very disingenuous. I mean, I joined Net Zero Watch as an unpaid director. I'm not a director anymore, but to push back on the homogenised view on the net zero, there's no scrutiny. But back to this.
It's also one of the reasons that they're so against this is because China has managed to make a $10,000 car. Like the BYD Seagull is $10,000 and that's it. Let's watch a video about the BYD Seagull. It's okay, I can mod the chat. There's like 200 people in here.
Hey guys, I'm here in the front seat of the BYD Seagull. We're going to go for a little drive here around Suzhou. It's kind of crazy being in the front seat of this thing. People are very obsessed with this car. It's only $10,000 US, yet it's China's best-selling car. And having driven it around Suzhou for about an hour now, I absolutely understand why. It may not be very big.
That's Dame Andrea Jenkins.
China kind of doesn't necessarily go towards small cars, but it does not feel cheap and it does not feel basic.
Is there an issue with your elected officials trading stocks? I don't actually know if that's as big an issue here. I doubt it's as big an issue as America. But the thing is that, like, ultimately a lot of people are making a huge amount of money. For example, during the scamdemic, there was huge amounts of, like, bizarre contracts given out that were, like, not filled. And by the way, I say scamdemic as a joke. COVID-19 UK government faces legal action after awarding £250 million in PPE contracts to jewellery company. Huge stuff like this kept going on. And yeah, Epic Mealtime is still around and he's beefing my co-host.
So many things in here that I'm just obsessed with. It rides nice, it handles nice for what it is, and it's actually very sophisticated for being such a cheap car. I see why BYD is killing the game here in China and why so many brands are scared of what this brand can do. I think with a few alterations, just a few changes, maybe firm up the suspension a little bit and get the steering a little tighter, this would be a very saleable car.
Wow, this guy likes his BYD Seagull, but that's enough of that. I'm not sitting here and watching that. We'll get back to the politics.
So,
that's what they're scared of. We're not going to make anything like that.
look, Keremy,
homogenised view of lots of scientists.
No, but there's lots
99%
of scientists who don't get the airtime, Zach. So I'm going to finish, Zach. I'm going to finish. Now, Kemi Badenoch saying this when I've been pushing back for years on this. It's going to decimate the car manufacturing industry. And you're right, it'll go in landfills. And you talk about the working class communities, Zach. They can't afford these cars. I can't afford an EV car. And
it's so obvious that this woman can afford an EV car. Like, no doubt, with all of her lobbying, she can easily afford it.
Price will come down, won't it?
But the fact is,
isn't it clean? I mean, you say everyone wants choice. I don't want someone to have the choice to use lead in petrol, let's say, which gave us brain damage in the 70s.
no. But the fact, but it's not like that now, is it? The fact is, it should be choice.
Like
Apparently, this woman asked for £147,000 to help answer emails so she could get more staffing. And they're setting up like a Doge equivalent in the UK, a Department of Governmental Efficiency.
If we don't take the
Hard, they're also necessary. Yeah, China's just so far ahead on everything. Helmet 87 utterly ridiculous. Helmet 8796. Thanks for becoming a member. Welcome to the Chris Tatership.
options. It's a bit like if we're all driving electric cars and someone invented a lead car, you go, oh, do you have the choice to pollute, to cause all those unnecessary deaths
That's if you believe
air pollution?
That's if you believe that.
The camera work on this is crazy. Also, is Sophie here? Sophie, are you a mod? If you're not, I'll make you a mod.
This is a right.
I mean, it's bonkers that you don't believe in air pollution.
No, I'm not saying air pollution. I said if you believe this is a right route, I don't.
Okay, fair
Reform have said that we wouldn't ban petrol cars as well, and I agree with that. It's about consumer choice.
So
and
you still have them manufactured? You wouldn't?
Of course I would.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But
Do you still believe that people should be able to smoke indoors?
No, I'm not a smoker myself.
No, but that's consumer choice,
No,
right?
but I think if certain pubs want to allow it, I just wouldn't choose to go to those pubs myself.
So we shouldn't make decisions based on people's health.
I think that's ridiculous. Look, people smoke outside. That's fine. And electric vehicles.
Marcus Browning reviewed the Xiaomi SU7, which is $40,000 in China, and his takeaway is we're so cooked. Yeah, I mean, this is a big threat for Europe. I was listening to, by the way, once again, recommending ones and twos. They had a great episode about Rosa Luxemburg today, which started with China's $1 trillion trade deficit. Also, I forgot to put moisturizer on my elbows. They were talking about that, but then they were talking just about how, like, for Europe are really worried that there'll be huge unemployment in factories and that this will basically lead to an even bigger growth of the AfD in Germany and places, but I think it's already coming. Thank you, Chris and chat. Yeah, I needed a new mod, Sophie. I guess this is the thing, like, people are busy and, especially with Silent Scythe going away, and you're always here, so it's greatly appreciated. Believe in nothing except what sounds nice. Yeah, 100%. Oh, well, I don't even think it's what sounds nice. Andrea Jenkins just believes in deporting loads of people and blaming Muslims as the reason and justification for everything she does. It's a very simple politics with a very simple, pleasurable, enjoyable message for the vast majority of people. Blame the other for degradation of society and you reach a really good point.
It's not about people's health.
So
It's
you
just
think
being
policy
on the
making
bandwagon.
based on health
No,
choices
no,
is ridiculous?
I'm not saying that.
That's literally what you just said.
I'm not saying that, for God's sake.
Well, what are you saying?
Oh, you
It is utterly ridiculous. Hey, Helmet, thanks for the £15. What an incredibly kind donation. Proud to be part of the Crustatorship. Love your content. Been silently watching for ages. Well, I'm glad you're becoming a more vocal member. Thanks for the comment and thanks for the donation, as always.
are putting...
Oh, and you keep asking me about Weezer. What's like a classic Weezer song? Am I thinking of... what's like Weezer's most famous songs? Why can't I think of a Weezer song? Now you've really perplexed me. I do know who Weezer are, but as you can tell, I'm not Weezer's #1 fan. Oh, Buddy Holly, I know, of course. I thought they did sing Teenage Dirtbag, but then I was imagining that it wasn't Weezer. Oh, no, that's Wheatus who sing Teenage Dirtbag, so I was wrong. Say it ain't so. It is utterly ridiculous. Harley Morenstein, the guy who tried to sue his colleagues at Epic Bacon. Ironic Ethan took a gambling sponsor while mentioning an article on gambling. I mean, if you needed any more evidence that the H3 podcast is not making the money that it once was, it's like the whole arc of going after Trisha Paytas. Like, yeah, Trisha Paytas sounds like a shitty Zionist, but also simultaneously, she hasn't, like, participated in a campaign against people or had the audacity to claim that she's, like, a pro-Palestine left-leaning advocate and spent her time demonizing the online left for being anti-Semites.
Zach, you was that annoying kid at school who's still annoying. Now, look, the fact...
Look at the level of this when they actually talk. Look at this when they actually talk.
I'm asking you political questions of a mayor of Lincolnshire and you're not able to answer.
You do not give me chance to answer,
Please,
Zach.
answer.
How about keeping your mouth shut and I'll answer?
right.
Of course, I went into politics about health choices. What a ridiculous thing to say because of the poor care in the NHS that led to my dad's death. So that is ridiculous.
So you're in politics for
you're
health
not
choices.
letting me finish,
Okay.
Zach. As I said, the annoying kid at school. So the fact is... Yes, you do make health choices. The smoking ban, yeah, I prefer people smoking outside. But this, it's just all about the net zero bandwagon where you say about millionaires. Look at one of the biggest donors of the Labour Party who is building all these solar farms.
£2.3 million to reform from climate denying companies.
Oh, my God, here we go.
Like, this is so unserious. Like, Zach, I know there was the thing of Zach Polanski where he didn't... He mixed up the debt and deficit, didn't he? But yeah, by the way, there's something I'm going to watch after quickly, which is that, look, I'm not enough of an expert on Ukraine, but apparently Ukraine are ready to drop the NATO membership bid. But to be honest, I've been listening to loads of Irish songs. I really like Barry's column. Oh, but isn't it great to see?
Research shows that there's over 500 premature deaths from air pollution in our cities every single week. A lot of that is to do with the cars that people are driving. Is that okay?
Show me the research.
Well, I can't literally, we're live on TV, but
Okay,
I think...
we'll move to a caller, but...
I love the Jeremy Vine show. Look how rattled reform politicians get when you ask them to defend positions they know to be indefensible and unpopular. This won't survive a general election campaign. Better buckle up, Zia Yusuf, and enjoy the lead in the... I think that's 100% true, by the way. I actually think one of the other problems for reform is that their base will be hugely, hugely split. But I also just want to show you the level of commentary that exists here. Is it okay for kids to be vegan? Great stuff is happening on the Jeremy Vine channel. I really like the sound of this.
Here, but we're limited to 2 faces, right?
Oh, wow. We found out about what the voters think. This is important.
You're going to have to choose one.
Oh, Farage, of course.
Yay.
You will choose Farage. Into the box he goes. There we go.
Absolutely. Because...
all these kind of like right-wing or centrist call shows are just talk shows for baby. I got a work holiday party.
It is utterly ridiculous.
I'll watch the VOD. Have a good day, everyone. Lemon Mint Cat, great to see you as always. Thanks for coming when you can, and thank you so much for the $5.
Zach Polanski lost me at trans women, his views on trans women, so we'll just forget about him. Yeah. Even though I have to say that even though I vote for Farage, I don't particularly like him, but I would vote for his party. He has not exactly excelled at dealing with the problem that's occurred in the last couple of weeks. Instead of standing up and being a man and saying, mea culpa,
You're talking about his alleged racist comments at school.
It's actually crazy because I feel like if you don't know, basically we covered this a few weeks ago on stream, but Nigel Farage was caught with, it's been alleged by a multitude of people who knew Nigel Farage, who's the leader of the Reform Party in the UK and is currently polling as the potential successor to Keir Starmer in the next elections. Farage, basically, as a child, was incredibly racist and anti-Semitic. Now, it wouldn't be that much... Like, it's bad. It's bad, don't get me wrong. But people change and grow from when they're 17. I mean, some of the allegations are insane, and 17 is an old age for this kind of stuff. But either way, the problem is that there's a through line from Farage's politics then to his politics now. Chris, I'm bunking off my PhD to work to watch the stream. The only thing you should be doing during a PhD. You're learning far more from this than you would be a PhD.
Yes, and I believe he is. I do believe that he is a racist. And by the way, I'm Indian.
But you just voted for him.
Yes, I would do because there were so.
What was Killian's question? What's Reform voters' stance on Israel? It's like the American Republicans where they're split between pro-Israel and anti-Semitic. Well, I think in Reform it gets more tied up with being pro-Israel. I'm not going to lie. Farage is very pro-Israel, heavily aligned with the United Arab Emirates. And so, yeah, I think it's a bit different to America. We don't really have as central a figure as yeah. I don't think we really have as central a figure as Fuentes. Yeah.
Many people who have these views. And
Okay,
I don't care as long as sticks and stones, as they say, as long as it doesn't affect me, as long as it helps the country. You know, he's a pragmatic man as well. He realizes that he has to accept that there are people of color in this country and we're here to stay. And so he accepts it.
So,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, any man, let's be honest, any man who says that he's here.
Like, the thing is Farage would be more pro-Israel, right, like, than what we get now. But the main issue is that it just wouldn't be that much of a change from Keir Starmer, who backs Israel to the hilt.
Hero is, what's his name? That, oh gosh.
I don't want to guess.
The guy who went on about Rivers of Blood. What's his name?
Enoch Powell.
Enoch Powell, who's his hero. It says it all.
So let me just summarise here. You've just said you are a person of colour.
Yes.
Okay. And you've just said Nigel Farage is a racist, and now you voted for him.
Yes, I will do, because, sorry, I don't know why you're saying it in that way.
No. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't misunderstood. That's all, because it was...
You're making me seem like I'm an idiot. What I'm trying to say is people will have racist views. I don't care as long as they don't act on them. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, no, listen, I wasn't in any way diminishing it. I don't know how you respond to that, Zach.
I think we need to make racism unacceptable again, and Nigel Farage is acting on them. I think we've seen the way that he's talked about migrant communities and people of ethnic minorities. Also, Reform put out a pretty anti-Semitic cartoon of me in Brighton. They took it down, but there was no apology.
OK. Thanks, Alice. Fascinating, Alice. Please call back.
Wow, I'm a big Jeremy Vine consumer now. You're interested in Farage's views on Israel. We got this banger the other day. Or we could watch the most unbelievable goals in Premier League history.
Insisting that he said it. You know, at some point, you keep saying no. He keeps saying I didn't say it.
I'm not saying anything.
No.
These 20 people are saying it.
Yeah,
It's nothing to do with me. They're saying it. Should we not take that seriously?
No.
My understanding is that you had a nephew who was actually not far away when this terrorist attack took place. It must have been very worrying for you.
It was very worrying. He's a doctor in Sydney, and he was on a beach about 15 minutes away.
We'll talk about this in a minute.
But I know that he lives and loves Bondi Beach, so I rang him to check that he was okay, and yeah, it was, thank God he was, and my thoughts and prayers. I mean, it's horrific.
Well, it's that moment, isn't it? And not least because, I mean, obviously terrorist attacks are terrible wherever they happen in the world, but there are so many British people like yourself with family and friends in Australia, so many connections between Australia and the UK that I'm sure...
What? Sorry, I've not seen much of this lady. She has quite an interesting biography. Layla Cunningham, formerly Dupuy, is a British politician and former CPS prosecutor. Excuse me? That is offensive to Ethan Klein. She was elected to Westminster Council in 2022 for the Conservative Party and deferred to reform. Cunningham is Muslim and is a mother of 7 children. She had 4 children from a 10-year marriage, which ended in divorce when her husband left her for a woman in Dubai. Wow, that is a really, really interesting, trajectory. Amazing. Oh, she admired Thatcher. So, yeah, Dupuy.
I'm sure so many people waking up first thing this morning, seeing that news, will have instantly been checking in with their family and friends to see if they're okay. So.
And I can imagine some can't get through. No, it's. I have no words.
Yeah, she described Egypt as communist, but I mean, it was engaged with socialism at that time, not communism.
I mean, I just can't. My thoughts and prayers really goes.
It's because she said communist Egypt, apparently.
Out to everyone there.
What did you make of what we were hearing there? I know you were listening, both from the Australian Prime Minister talking about the fear of the Jewish community, but also we were hearing from a senior member of Australia's Jewish community there saying that, many Australian Jews just do not feel safe in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, I have many very close Jewish friends in London who tell me the same thing. They're born and raised here, their whole family's here, and they don't feel safe, and they want to leave. And it's heartbreaking to hear because if London's not safe for the Jewish community, it's safe for none of us. And I know that they've been asking.
No, so that would have been the opposite of a socialist. So that was a big player in the Intifada. It is utterly ridiculous. Let me call in and wax lyrical about about Ethan Klein. I don't fancy having a long conversation about Ethan Klein today and the actual rise of anti-Semitism in the West. I promise to condemn Hamas. Thanks for the $5, but I won't be doing call-ins about Ethan Klein. Jews don't feel safe. I mean, it's true. Like, there was a major anti-Semitic attack, but we'll talk about this later. Maybe this isn't the best thing to watch because it's kind of eating into the next thing, and I want to talk about. We'll watch one more video of Jeremy Vine, and then that's it. Because this looks brilliant.
Party's too close to Russia.
Oh no! How ridiculous! This is where the left just keep pushing that out, isn't it?
Well, no,
Not feeling the same, isn't yeah. And I mean, whenever someone starts talking about London, they're talking about pro-Palestine marches, basically. And as someone who's been on them, they are very obviously not anti-Semitic. And there's a lot of things I need to say about a lot of different things. But yeah, we'll talk about it shortly.
I just saw that guy. Was it Nathan Gill went to prison?
No, but there's always one bad egg in whatever party,
spying,
isn't there? It's disgusting, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a bad egg in every party, isn't there?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's the courts that are pushing it out. I think it's reality that's pushing it out. Nathan Gill went to prison for 10.5 years. I think 7 or 8 other people are implicated who are involved with, as it was known, UKIP at that time, of the Brexit Party.
No, but Nigel and, none of us are involved with Russia. And also, let's face it, the left, people like yourself, who was a big Remainer, Zach, have been putting these conspiracy theories out during Brexit, during, on the rise of reform. You always try to align anybody who's not your views with Russia. It's getting a bit tiresome now.
You say what the evidence is.
I don't think it's conspiracy theories. So we've got evidence now that this happened. In fact, Nathan Gill, this wasn't a random person. He was the leader of
the amazing thing about this is, like, what he's talking about here is a key figure in the Reform Party. In the Reform Party was caught taking bribes from Russia. Well, he was a key figure in the Brexit Party, which is what Reform is or was.
Brexit Party in Wales. And Nigel Farage for a while said he didn't really know who he was, but on the day of Brexit, there's a picture where Nigel Farage is there, and right over his shoulder is Nathan Gill. And when I asked Zia Youssef about this, he kind of said, oh, Nigel Farage didn't really know him, he meets lots of people. He was the leader of Reform in Wales. That's not...
Well, do you know every party member?
I know the leader of the Wales Green Party.
He was the leader of Welsh Reform. We obviously knew him. He didn't know he was spying.
No, but of course, but none of us know. I mean, you could be a spy, for God's sake. Yeah.
I agree that none of us know, but when there's
it's
8
true.
people, it starts to look a little bit suspicious.
What rubbish.
Or is there
I'm
just
really
a thing,
sick of this.
Andrew, is there a thing where Mr Farage, not doing anything illegal, but is just close... He likes Putin because he likes strong men.
It's also kind of crazy that Farage got away with, like, photos of him and Andrew Tate, you know, which is just unbelievable.
Putin is always...
Oh, my gosh. This is just ridiculous. You know, right since the Brexit years, all anybody ever does, if you've got a different...
Oh, my word!
...view to the BBC, etc., or mainstream media, you get as if you're aligned to Putin.
Well,
Putin's vile.
Well,
see
really
what
wanted to
Zach,
break
give
down
it your
Europe
best shot.
as well. We've got a weakened European Union now, and that plays...
Like, the thing is, and the thing that Farage gets away with, Nigel Farage said Andrew Tate is an important voice for men. Andrew Tate said women should bear responsibility for being SA'd. Reform UK has no credibility when it comes up. I mean, this is from Labour. It's true, though. Like, the fact that this photo exists of you with Andrew Tate, like, I'm sorry, Andrew Tate didn't magically change overnight. This guy is a horrible, heinous individual. And anyone in proximity with him should probably be held to account.
Into Putin's hands now.
Someone mentioned Corbyn, but the only thing I can think of with Corbyn is that he referred to Hamas and Hezbollah as friends at a meeting, and apparently that's enough to, you know, get him in serious trouble. But this guy having a photo with Andrew Tate is barely worth mentioning.
Oh, sure, we've got a Green Party leader who's also into conspiracy theories.
I don't think it's conspiracy theory at all to say that Putin is not a fan
No,
of the
but I'm
European
saying
Union.
aligning Reform with that, you know.
But he went to prison for 10.5 years.
£3.62. It is utterly ridiculous. Thank you, Cindy the Skull, for the £3.62 Freddo Fund. Hell yeah.
That's not me. That's what actually happened.
One person.
But there are other
Are you trying to say that I'm aligned to Putin?
No, not at all. I have no idea what you think about Putin.
Yeah, it is Nigel Farage who said up the rah for a cameo, and then there's that video where the lady goes, up the rah, Nigel.
But I do know there are other people in your party who are implicated. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just fact.
But the fact is, we're a big party. We are the biggest party in the UK now. You're going to get some bad eggs. You wait. You'll find some bad eggs coming out of the woodwork.
Well, I think without a doubt there will be bad eggs. There are in any party. But if there is a pattern of bad eggs, then it starts to look suspicious.
What? We've got hundreds of thousand members, and you're.
I'm starting to really like Andrea Jenkins. I like the way she just goes, oh.
Saying what? A handful of people.
It's whether, I suppose, Andrew, it's more like on the right, people seem to be more sympathetic to Putin. I don't quite get it myself.
Well, I disagree.
I mean,
I disagree.
Trump, for example.
I was always very standing up for Ukraine as an MP, so I disagree.
But we could talk about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein and Nigel Farage's relationship with Donald Trump.
Well, Clinton with Epstein allegedly.
I'm no fan of Clinton either.
No, I'm just saying. But apparently none of us know. It's said in the media that they might have had a picture taken with them, but it doesn't mean they're implicated, does it, in the Epstein stuff?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those people are heavily implicated in the Epstein stuff. Taking photos with Jeffrey Epstein, unless it's at some kind of fucking like meeting or conference thing, you're probably in a dark situation. I mean, also, actually, oh God, we didn't even get to cover the new Epstein photos, there are some amazing ones, which we'll talk about.
None of us know, do we?
I would say the biggest national security threat we need to worry about is the climate crisis, as we see increasing floods and wildfires. The National Intelligence Chiefs just last month released a report to say that's actually the biggest threat.
Why are you sighing?
I just think we've got far more important things to think about. People are struggling financially. I mean, I've had so many emails where people are struggling. Do you know, we've got a charity, a local charity in Lincolnshire, where people... you put together because children haven't got the Christmas presents, and we've got a local business who gives toys to this charity in Grimsby, and And it's so sad, and you're talking about that. You know?
Sorry, I'm laughing just because this woman does not give a singular shit about any of this.
We've got children who
people are struggling financially partly because of our reliance on oil and gas and actually the refusal to engage with the just transition, so investing in tackling
There are children without Christmas presents.
the climate crisis is causing more problems. And when we have more wildfires and floods, how do you think people who are in working class communities are going to deal with the fact with their homes being flooded?
What's this got to do with Putin? This is
this
has just become a platform for you.
No, I say.
Well, we're talking about national security threats, and the government's own report says the biggest national security threat is the climate.
We're going to watch a piece of art now.
Ask yourselves in Dublin a question. Why did you fight the British? Why did Irish nationalists fight the British for 500 years?
800 years, Nigel.
500 often very bloody, difficult years until the 1920s. What was the point of it if you're now governed by European commissioners?
I think people will be entertained, Nigel, to hear you talking about this.
And that may be too inconvenient for all of you in Dublin. Oh, I'm sure. Yes, of course.
I know that you apologised for the birthday greeting which you delivered in the last couple of days, but I want people to see just how much you know about the history and culture on this island.
Now, it's a bit early in the day, so all I've got actually is coffee, but I hope you enjoy a few pints with the lads tonight. Up the Ra!
Up the Ra, Nigel. I mean, I know that you said sorry. I know you get 87 quid. It's entirely within your rights to do that. But come on, don't try and lecture the Irish people about the culture and history and precarious nature of peace on this island. You haven't got a clue.
Why don't you ask?
Oh, that is art. That is art. That is art in its purest form. That is truly art. I don't know if you've all seen perhaps his greatest work, though, from last summer.
Sigma, Sigma on the wall. Who's the spittiest of them all? It's you, yes, it's you. Top Sigma Andrew. I'm wishing you a very happy Skibbity Chungus birthday, and thank you for voting Reform, backing Brexit and being a major support.
Sigma, Sigma on the wall. Who's the skibbidiest of them all? There's definitely some quality Chungus videos as well. I just can't believe that there is a high potential that this man is going to be Prime Minister.
James Marson, what did you do with Big Chungus? We know you're the sus imposter, and I saw you vent in electrical. What did you do with that wish delivery the other week, James? Use code Among Us for a $20 discount on James Marson merch.
Wow, that is amazing. What a man. What a man Nigel Farage is. And yeah, I guess I won't go through all of them, but here are some interesting photos that were recently released. So you've got Trump with a blacked out person's face. Let's not whitewash what some of the Irish did, especially in America, where they played their hand in oppression of African Americans. Tons served in the police were racist and, I don't doubt that that's true. Irish have also been discriminated against by, Irish were discriminated against by the British. Farage doesn't do well when pushed on positions or statements. No, he doesn't. He's just given an easy ride. Are these recorded via Cameo? Yes, you can send Nigel Farage like 50 quid and you can get him to say anything. So, yeah. So here's Trump with a victim. Here's Trump with a multitude of women with their faces blacked out. I mean, we knew this. Like, we know Trump's a sex offender, so this obviously isn't going to be a major problem. Here's Steve Bannon with Woody Allen, and here's Woody Allen with Epstein on a set. Annie Hall was pretty good, but fuck Woody Allen anyway. I think probably Epstein is the least of Woody Allen's worries, to be honest. There are a ton of photos of him with Woody Allen. Here with a young woman. I mean, Woody Allen, what did you just send? I don't know what you've just sent. I was going to call you that opinionated girl. Sorry, mediocre violist. Don't know why I was going to do that. Wow, Trump is pictured with women doing blackface. Is this the end for Donald Trump? Question mark. He does have a great voice. What, Nigel Farage? Yeah, he's got that raspy smoker's voice. And then there's a photo. This was an odd one too. Trump condom. I'm huge. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about. The Oversight Dems released a few new images, but yeah. Thank you to the Democrats for releasing some photos via Dropbox. There are some really bizarre photos in here. Like, what is this one? Oh, I don't think you saw that. No, you did. Sorry about that. Someone's been commenting some crazy shit on these. But here's a photo of Epstein where he's got a swollen lip. Don't know why. Yep, that's certainly an interesting one. What are the other interesting ones? There's some very bizarre photos. There's a photo of Chomsky and Steve Bannon. Michael Parenti, greater than Chomsky. Pre-beard gnome, interesting one. I don't know what he's doing with these two. I won't be joining the conversation, to say the least. Yeah, of course. There's a photo of Prince Andrew in here, but it's from a conference. It already existed. Prince Andrew with Bill Gates. That's a nice one. We like that one. Epstein with the Dush. Someone really liked it. They gave it a thumbs up. Victania really liked this one. That's Chomsky. Yeah, that's Chomsky in that photo. A very ancient Chomsky, probably from 2019. Great photo of Hillary, which will come up next. Hillary, Bill, Ghislaine, and Guy in the corner. Don't know who these are. Don't know who this is. Hillary looks insanely young here. Crazy how, like, much she aged, but I guess that's how time operates. Bill looking great as well. Bill Clinton seems to have signed the photo. I mean, this is probably would be one of my prized possessions, a photo of me with Jeffrey Epstein. I would love to sign that. Why he did that, I don't know. Sorry, you might hear me double for a second. You probably just heard another Very interesting things. Maybe he ate a bee. I mean, quite plausibly. Very interesting things are going on with the Jeffrey Epstein case. We did get a beautiful photo of Ehud Barak on a phone with a very unusual painting behind him. Hey, Ghislaine, wouldn't it be funny if I just randomly took a photo of this guy on his phone and years later he will be caught in the Epstein file? Oh, shit, he caught me. It is crazy. Oh, my God. John Doe will not stop with the anti-Semitic statements. John Doe, please stop. I don't want to see that. House Dems, clean up your business. House Dems, moderate. We also got a photo of Virgin owner, Richard Branson, with Jeff Eppy and... Oh, shit, I forgot to turn off my CSGO. Sorry, my Steam, so I'll do that now. Sorry. Oh, fuck's sake. I've accidentally pinned. Unpinned from taskbar. Steam is gone. Let's go back to the photos of Jeffrey Epstein. Look at the top comment. Just unfollowed Richard Branson on LinkedIn. Virgin owner greater than Chad Renter. Yeah. Who is Dean Kamen? He's an American engineer and inventor who was pictured with Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know what he invented. There's a photo of him with Bill Clinton, and this is an interesting photo. I don't know what this is. Very interesting one there. He invented a Segway. Wow! This guy would have been amazing for a very short period of time in, like, 2015 or something. That's Jimmy Buffett. That is Hillary. That is 100% Hillary Clinton. Everyone said it's Hillary Clinton, sorry. Are you saying that that's not Hillary Clinton? Wait, let me pull up the Clinton photo again. Oh, wait. I'm going to have to look at this on Twitter because I want it turned. I don't want to see this. Oh my God, there is one crazy ass photo in here. That opinionated girl, because I made a joke a month ago that when you were referring to her, I mean, when you mentioned her, because her username is so basic. Maybe, I don't know. What? He died no, he didn't. He didn't die driving a Segway off a cliff. Shut up. Ridiculous. Look at this one. Look at this photo. Wow, Jeffrey was a bit of a joker. Jessica Lehman liked this at 9:29 on December the 13th. She was enjoying this image of Jeffrey Epstein with the photo in front of him, with the book in front of him, sorry. There are some weird things that I won't show, which are like some sex stuff. There's a crazy photo of Jeffrey Epstein in the bath where it says, peekaboo. Oh my God, John Doe, stop commenting anti-Semitic shit on this. But yeah, this is a very interesting photo of Epstein. Right, we're going to look at that photo of Hillary and decide whether it is. I decide, by the way, whether it's Hillary, not you. I was sure that was Hillary Clinton. Someone said it was Hillary Clinton, so I kind of had assumed that it was Hillary Clinton, but now you're telling me it's not Hillary Clinton, and now I'm not sure, so thanks for that one. Oh, shit, wait, we got another photo of... we got another photo of Trump with a woman and Jeffrey Epstein. Photo of Jeffrey Epstein and Trump. I'm noticing the lack of people in color in these photos. Not a good look for the white race. Jeffrey Epstein might have been racist? I'm not sure. Jarvis, enhance. Who's this in the background? People are debating whether it's Kurt Cobain or River Phoenix. It's not River Phoenix. Looks more like Kato Kalin. Don't know who that is in the background. Wait, is that Epstein? Yeah, Epstein ain't dead. He's busy commenting on the House Oversight Committee. Also, that does look a lot like Hillary Clinton. That's her in some point in the 90s, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Is it not Hillary Clinton? I don't know. Edit a copy. I'm going to edit a copy on Microsoft Paint and draw rude things on it. Lol. Well, I guess we're going to be investigating for a long time whether it's Hillary Clinton or not. It's up for debate. But yeah, we didn't really get much. We just got a couple of photos of Trump with quite possibly Epstein victims, but that somehow doesn't surprise me. I'm being frank here, so... Yeah, so this is the photo of Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein. These two are best friends. Like, I think it's very clear. If you're taking selfies, boys, here's a piece of advice for you. If you're taking selfies with men like this, that's one of your guys. Straight up. But yeah, it's Keanu Reeves. I don't think it's Keanu Reeves. She looks nothing like Hillary. Yes, it's definitely Bill Clinton. Oh, it does look like it could be her, but I don't know. Oh, wait. It's not Hillary, it's Jane Slagsvold, which sounds like an offensive name. The weird thing about one of the photos they posted is, did Epstein just edit out Prince Charles out of a photo? Didn't Hassan make a selfie with dating and money? Yeah, but it wasn't in a mirror in a house together. That's one of your boys. You don't take men. You ain't taking photos like that if you're not boys. These are #1 boys. His outfit is heinous as well. I don't know what this outfit is. Imagine you're just out and about and you see Epstein dressed like this. Crazy. But yeah, why did Bill Gates at the malaria summit, why did Epstein keep this photo, and why did he edit out the Charles? I wonder. Who's this? Oh, wait. This is Larry Visovsky, the pilot. He loved Dersh. The Dersh. Didn't Hassan made a selfie with Diddy? Thank you. Oh, right. I've been looking for this. Ahmed bin Sulayem. It was very clear, by the way, that Epstein was a very, very, very influential figure in involving these people, like Emiratis and stuff. These people makes it sound like I'm just talking about Arabs generally, but I mean the Emiratis. Sorry, I got a comment calling Randy Fine Jabba of Star Wars. Amazing stuff. Thanks for that one. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. I guess we'll talk about Rob Reiner after we finish looking at these. Oh, I probably won't look at that one. I guess it's just a glove, but yeah, it's probably something I shouldn't be looking at. But yeah, amazing things are happening over in the Oversight Dems Committee with Jeffrey Epstein. Keep deflecting. Ha ha ha, pathetic. Why do you think I need to defend Hassan Piker on whether he took a selfie with Diddy, which I'm pretty sure he didn't? Dating and Money took a selfie with him. Yeah, I'm sure that happened. But, like, plenty of people have taken selfies with... plenty of people have taken selfies with Hassan that are horrible. Sorry, I'm just getting recommended horrible things on my... Right, let's talk about Rob Reiner quickly. This won't be a very long thing. But yeah, if you're not familiar with Rob Reiner, I'd recommend going and watching some of his movies in his memory. Why did you delete the comment that was there? About Europe being a shithole. What was your problem there? Yeah, allegedly stabbed by his son. Yeah, The Princess Bride is a very good film, and it's the first film I ever watched with my girlfriend, the first time I ever watched it, and I really like it. I really like The Princess Bride. Well, he directed it. He had like a generational run of movies as well, which I haven't actually seen many of that much. I haven't seen much of, sorry, his movies, but his like run of movies in the 80s is truly unbelievable. I've never seen All in the Family where he acted. I recently watched the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode that he was in as well. I've seen Misery as well, which I really liked. I really thought Misery was brilliant. Right, it's like in the 80s, isn't it? Why is it not showing these? Oh, here we go. Wait, was he just in Misery? He was the helicopter pilot. No, I think he directed Misery, no? Filmography. Right. I've never seen Spinal Tap, but I'm sure it's very good. He had like a crazy thing. Their chat history is pretty sus. They just kept saying Europe is a shithole. That's all I could see. A Few Good Men. I really want to watch that. Apparently it's brilliant. Misery he wrote and directed. I liked Misery. I didn't think it was like the best film I've ever seen, but it's really, really good. When Harry Met Sally, I've not seen. The Princess Bride is magnificent. I haven't seen Stand By Me or Spinal Tap. I'd like to see those though. But like just this run of films from Spinal Tap to like down to North, apparently. I've not seen that, but just down to those are just amazing. Being Charlie. We are Charlie Kirk. I assume it wasn't about Charlie Kirk, but it would have been if it was good. But yeah, just a crazy run of films and a crying shame that he passed away. I mean, Rob Reiner was an old guy, and it's still awful, the circumstances in which he passed away. I know some people are saying he was killed by his son, but yeah, I know Stand By Me is probably brilliant. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. He did When Harry Met Sally, but yeah, he was good in Curb Your Enthusiasm as well. That's a very funny episode. It is utterly ridiculous. Bad Pierogies, thank you for the one gifted membership. Greatly appreciated as always. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that a girlfriend likes to do is watch a lot of films of people who pass away, so I'm sure we're going to be on a Rob Reiner kick now. Rob Reiner made, I've already seen The Princess Bride, but it's sad. It's sad. I woke up this morning and it was like, I got a text and it just said Rob Reiner died. And I was like, oh, that's awful. What Being Charlie is all about. Yeah. Yes, Curb was hilarious with Rob Reiner. Yeah, it's a great episode. But yeah, Rob Reiner, the award-winning Hollywood actor and director, and his wife Michelle were found dead in their home on Sunday in Los Angeles. Officials said they were investigating the deaths as homicides. It is utterly ridiculous. Nizaya 439, thank you for the gifted membership. AAC, you got a membership. Yeah, I'm going to read the Trump statement. I don't know if you guys might not have seen the Trump statement because it came out so close to the upload of this. The Trump statement is truly, truly unbelievable. Especially considering Rob Reiner's wife, Michelle, took the photo of Trump for the Art of the Deal, apparently. It was unclear immediately how they died, but the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, said it was investigating an apparent homicide at the couple's home in the West Los Angeles after 2 bodies were found. As news of the death spread, public officials and members of the Hollywood community posted tributes. Here's what we know. Captain Mike Bland, Jesus, that's a terrible name, of the LAPD, said that officers responded to the reports of deaths at a home around 3:40 p.m. on Sunday. The police identified it as Mr. Reiner's residence and said that officers discovered 2 bodies inside. Alan Hamilton, deputy police chief, said the LAPD was conducting an investigation. He said that investigators were trying to obtain a search warrant for the home. The police blocked off the street where the couple lived with yellow tape. Many of Rob Reiner's movies became classics. We won't read that because we just spoke about that. I mean, The Princess Bride is genuinely like a magnificent film. It's really fantastic. Did you watch David Lynch movies? I've seen a few Lynch movies, but we didn't because we weren't really... When did David Lynch die? Didn't he die at the start of the year? We'd only just met at the start of the year, so we didn't really watch many David Lynch films. I've seen Blue Velvet, and I saw Eraserhead many, many, many years ago, but I think that those are the only 2 David Lynch films I've actually seen. I really want to watch Twin Peaks and more, but I've been waiting. I think I'll watch Mulholland Drive pretty soon, because that seems fantastic, and The Elephant Man's really good as well. He did in January. Yeah, I just checked. He died on January the 15th. David Lynch's statement on having emphysema was amazing, truly. And also, it was kind of... someone wrote about how, or like Ryan Engley and Todd McGowan, they spoke about how like much of his filmography was coloured by fire, and he died during the LA wildfires, which is kind of crazy, like Fire Walk With Me and stuff. This is just an unbelievable statement. Yes, I have emphysema from my many years of smoking. I have to say that I enjoyed smoking very much, and I do love tobacco, the smell of it, lighting cigarettes on fire, smoking them, but there is a price to pay for this enjoyment, and the price for me is emphysema. I have now quit smoking for over 2 years. Recently, I have had many tests, and the good news is that I'm in excellent shape, except for emphysema. I am filled with happiness, and I will never retire. I want you all to know that I really appreciate your concern. Love, David. He was a wonderfully interesting character, I will say that much. But yeah, a true loss to the world. I mean, Lynch did some problematic things, but his filmography is amazing, truly amazing. Also, here's an amazing fact. This scene, which I'll link it because I obviously can't play it. A scene from it. I'm in live chat. Did I miss something? Why? Watch all Bong Joon-ho's movies with her. With who? I think Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet is in my Letterboxd top 4. It's an amazing film. My Letterboxd top 4 are Apocalypse Now, Blue Velvet, I think Certified Copy, and Das The Lives of Others. Yeah, we're going to talk about Trump, but apparently this beautiful scene was changed because Rob Reiner met his future wife during When Harry Met Sally's production and fell so in love that he changed the ending so Harry and Sally could end up together too. Rip Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. A real sad story. But let's read about what Trump said. Trump's statement is truly unbelievable. I don't think you're going to believe this. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. This is an insane comment. Blaming, I mean, this was released not long ago. But by the way, this statement was, he was allegedly murdered by his son. I mean, it's not 100% confirmed yet, but yeah. Yeah, truly an amazing thing. That this is the statement put out by this guy. I don't know why he put this out, and then someone put this of Rob Reiner reacting to Charlie Kirk's death with Piers Morgan.
Horror, absolute horror, and I unfortunately saw the video of it, and it's beyond belief what happened to him, and that should never happen to anybody. I don't care what your political beliefs are. That's not acceptable. That's not a solution to solving problems. And I felt like what his wife said at the service, that the memorial they had, was exactly right. And totally, I believe, I'm Jewish, but I believe in the teachings of Jesus, and I believe in doing to others.
I was going to ask, was he Jewish? Because obviously in Curb Your Enthusiasm, a lot of people are Jewish. Like a lot of the actors are Jewish, and like a lot of people in it. It's a very good show.
And I believe in forgiveness. And what she said to me was beautiful and absolutely, she forgave his assassin. And I think that is admirable. Well,
it is just a really insane statement by Trump. Like, it's genuinely one of the most insane statements. But I assume this guy is some kind of, like, big Democrat guy. Breaking. This is the most disgusting post Donald Trump has ever made. He claims that Rob Reiner was killed due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. Imagine if I said this about Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, true, but I think Donald Trump has said some more unhinged and troubling things. This is just like a weird statement to make. A really weird statement to make, honestly. Yeah, Piers Morgan is not having me on the show. I'm gonna be frank to you here. But yeah, I mean, it's a horrible statement, obviously. But I think Trump has certainly said some worse things. By the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene is condemning Trump for this. Rob Reiner and his wife were tragically killed at the hands of their own son, who reportedly had a drug addiction and other issues, and their remaining children are left in serious mourning and heartbreak. This is a family tragedy, not about politics or political enemies. Many families deal with a family member with drug addiction and mental health issues. It's incredibly difficult and should be met with empathy, especially when it ends in murder. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene having more clarity than Donald Trump is somewhat surprising, but also just, I guess, like, unsurprising. at the moment. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene is an insane person when it comes to the Jewish space lasers and stuff. This was also posted by Rapid Response White House. I just cannot believe that Trump has put out this statement. It's odd. Wait, what? Trump bragged?
You have one of the landmark buildings down in the financial district, 40 Wall Street. Did you have any damage, or did you know what's happened down there?
Well, it was an amazing phone call I made. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest.
You have one of the...
That is an odd statement to make in response to 9/11. This guy is really, really, really exciting. I do have to admit, he is an unbelievable character. But yeah, a tragedy, a really horrible situation. When everyone's Charlie Kirk, no one is. Dash from The Incredibles. I think that's a good point, yeah. Trump seems like he's on his last legs. No way he makes it through an alleged third term. I don't think Trump is going to make it through a third term. I don't think that's happening. And he's already calling in. Yeah, I know. He's a born poster. Just like keep him away from women and give him a microphone. Yeah, if Donald Trump was a leftist, he would be one of the most amazing posters online if he was actually had decent political views. But he doesn't have any decent political views. He's just an imbecile. Truly, he's just an imbecile. He just tweets some of the stupidest stuff. Right, we're going to move on to the big news story. Obviously, the biggest thing that happened on Sunday, which is the Bondi Beach attacks. Now, if you don't know, Bondi Beach is a famous beach in Sydney. And there was a massacre carried out by seemingly two Islamist extremists, or they seem to be Islamist extremists. And instantaneously, there has been a major reaction. Like, you know, it's a terrible situation. I don't know if I would have talked about it for as long as I'm going to, if it weren't for the fact that, you know, it's basically a situation in which it's being highly politicized already. It's being politicized across the globe, predominantly by Israel and pro-Israel figures, and they are using it to justify a major crackdown. There is a huge amount of lying going on. Bondi Beach, sorry, did I call it Bondi? I did call it Bondi. Bondi Beach, sorry. My apologies. But yeah, there's been a huge politicization of the attack already, which isn't surprising. I mean, we've already seen this happening over and over again. But yeah, let's get straight into the politicization, because obviously I think it's now 15 people have died, have been killed as a result of what was going on there. Sorry, I just laughed because I didn't laugh at the situation. I laughed because I just saw Hassan's tweet about Donald Trump. And his tweet, he just said, "What are you even saying at this point? What can you even say at this point?" Sorry. Which just kind of made me laugh. I'm not laughing at the situation. It's obviously horrible. You know, a huge massacre of people is never something to be laughed and celebrated. But yeah, I know. The guy who tackled one of the shooters was a Muslim, but I think already a situation where, like, people are like, oh, thank God the guy who tackled him was a Muslim, because maybe it'll be some brief reprieve from the massive amount of hate that's going to be launched against Muslims, is a troubling situation. Sorry, I'm just going to move my lights quickly. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just hiding my camera. Henry's probably turning and crying because I didn't do it via the scenes, but yeah. That looks better, I think. But yeah, it's a terrible, terrible situation, obviously, what's going on there. Pronounced like that, did not mean to make the pun at all. I did see someone warn that people were trying to push a Gen I article that whitewashed the guy as Edward Crabtree, an IT guy. I mean, yeah, people were always going to do that. People are all, I mean, instantaneously. Let's just get right into the politicization of it, because this is, like, seriously, it's a terrible event. And, you know, the last time there was, like, a major massacre like this in Australia, it was carried out by some seemingly just mentally unwell guy who killed, like, 35 people in the 1990s. That was the last, like, major shooting that was anywhere similar to this. But, yeah, 800,000 dead in Gaza. I mean, I don't know if the number is as high as 800,000, but yes, tens of thousands of people are dead in Gaza, and that's kind of the politicization that I want to talk about, obviously. Like, I of course, that situation matters, and I've spoken about it for so long. Like, the situation in Gaza is paramount to talk about, and it is a direct result of, you know, Western policies towards Palestinian people and the racism that is pervasive in the world system that we live under. But yeah, I mean, already Netanyahu wasted no time getting into this. Let's just listen to this. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at a government meeting in Dimona on August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, a letter in which I gave him a warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia.
On August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia a letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. I wrote, "Your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorism. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act."
Anti-Semitism is a form of racism. It is a form of racism which portrays there to exist an other enjoying at your expense, in the exact same way that the same kind of anti-Palestinian racism, Islamophobia, like just racism against the other generally, is leading to mass slaughter across the Middle East and the denigration of certain human beings that all they are destined for is death. And of course, Netanyahu is unlikable, because the instantaneous politicization to be like, actually, the reason that this is happening is because, you know, you supported a Palestinian state. What an utterly ridiculous claim. Like, I'm sorry, the guy, just like the attacker in the UK, was seemingly a member of the Islamic State. 2 Islamic State flags were found in his car. Islamic State have encouraged lone wolf attacks, and yet these people jump instantaneously to blame the pro-Palestine movement and to say, actually, this was Hamas and Hezbollah who carried out this attack. And it's like, well, you have these Islamic State flags, but you're not talking about that. You're not choosing to talk about that because it couldn't really be used to demonize the pro-Palestinian movement, because Islamic State in particular has nothing to do with groups like Hamas and Hezbollah because of its desire for ideological purity in the case of Hamas and because they're Shias.
I call upon you to replace weak.
Yeah, sorry, I will sort out the audio thing. I promise to do it after this stream. It is literally just this video is a little quiet.
With action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread. And the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. We saw an action of a brave man, turns out a Muslim brave man, and I salute him, that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews. But it requires the action of your government, which you're not taking. And you have to, because history will not forgive hesitation and weakness. It will honor action and strength. That's what Israel expects of each of your governments in the West and elsewhere, because the disease spreads and it will consume you as well. But we are worrying right now about our people, our safety, and we do not remain silent.
By the way, there are no two ways about it. Like, make no mistake, Israel plays one of the largest roles in delegitimizing people's opinions about anti-Semitism when you continually claim that everything leveled against you, that are serious war crimes that you have perpetrated, are evil blood libels, that the entire world is against you for nothing more than being Jewish, that you have a right to harm and displace Palestinian people on the basis of your Jewishness. You serve to delegitimize anti-Semitism in the exact same way that Western governments who continually support and enable these this government and hug them are enabling anti-Semitism. Trump in his alleged America First policy, whilst also still clearly prioritizing Israeli interests, because obviously, you know, maintaining dominance in the Middle East, which Israel is a key player in, is part of that. It's not surprising that he does that, but it's always going to increase anti-Semitism.
We fight those who try to annihilate us. They're not only trying to annihilate us, they attack us because they attack the West. In Syria, we saw yesterday 2 American soldiers killed and 1 American interpreter killed as well. Killed because they represent our common culture. Now, as a result of
By the way, that is also an outrageous thing. As bad as the Islamic State are, like, obviously that was more because America occupies Syrian land. Like, what are you talking about there? Represent common culture. Like, America still has soldiers in a foreign country. Like, what are you talking about here? That's a very big leap to go, oh, it's a common culture. Although that is literally a thing that the Islamic State believe. That is also because there are American soldiers in Syria. Like, what is this? Like saying it's because it's all about culture. Insane.
This Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said the following. He said, "Let it be known that if you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you, and ruthlessly kill you." We send our condolences to the people of America, and I want to say that our policy is exactly that policy. That's why those who target Israelis, target our soldiers, try to kill them or try to hurt them and wound them, as happened in Gaza yesterday, we take action. They will spend the rest of their brief, anxious lives knowing that Israel will hunt them, find them, and ruthlessly dispose of them. That is American policy. This is Israel's policy. It's our policy in Gaza.
It is crazy. The Islamic State have, like, you know, an organization that was mostly beaten, has just carried out a huge amount of attacks recently. It carried out a killing of 2 American soldiers, 1 interpreter, and then also carried out a massive attack on Bondi Beach. Your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorists. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourage the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. What a ridiculous statement. Genuinely, what a ridiculous statement. It is a lived out thing for there to be a 2-state solution anyway. Reminder to check your cupboards for ham ass. Thank you, Trevor Tove Trails, for the $2. But yeah, remember to check your cupboards for them. I mean, Netanyahu might have you believing that. I mean, Netanyahu also did this.
וראינו גם גבורה יהודית בשיאה. אני ראיתי בדרך הנה סרטון של יהודי שמתנפל על אחד המרצחים, שומט ממנו את הנשק ומציל מי...
It's also like, by the way, there were literal neo-Nazis on the street of Australia. The far right is growing there. The far right is growing there of neo-Nazis. Like, there was a South African attending a neo-Nazi rally on the 17th of November, 2025. Look, Matthew Gruter, who has been in Australia since 2022, took part in an anti-Jewish protest outside the New South Wales Parliament organised by the National Socialist Network earlier this month and is now awaiting deportation. He was seen among 60 men clad in black who held up the banner, "Abolish the Jewish Lobby." This is just not being mentioned by anyone. Like, it's not mentioned. They don't give a shit. They do not give a shit about genuinely rising anti-Semitism. You know? It's just, like, truly unbelievable that this stuff is, like, you know, just ignored because so Netanyahu can just make up crap, and because they're ideologically aligned with a lot of the people. And yeah, as many of you know, I'm not going to show the video of him disarming it because I don't want it to be demonetized or, like, flagged. But the man who tackled him was an Australian named Ahmad Al-Ahmad, who was a Syrian refugee, and he was the one who carried out that brave video of disarming this person. But yeah, I mean, the fact that there are neo-Nazis just, like, wandering the streets and this just doesn't matter is truly amazing. And instantaneously, you know, we got these reactions from people like Laura Loomer. The media keeps saying the man who disarmed the Muslim terrorist in Australia today is also a Muslim who owns a fruit stand. Credible reports suggest that the man is actually Lebanese or Coptic Christian. Don't fall for the propaganda. She hasn't deleted the tweet. Granted, it got community noted, but she didn't give a shit about this. She didn't give a singular shit. And also just talking about cancer from Netanyahu and stuff. Also, Anthony Lowenstein had a great video about this. I want to actually go to his... Anthony Lowenstein, who wrote the Palestine Laboratory and lives near Sydney. I'm just going to play it from 22 minutes. If you want to check out the whole video, I'll link it in the comments of this.
Yet, while the bodies are still warm, who did this and why they did it? So be skeptical of people who give one-sentence answers to these problems. Australia, in a way, thankfully, before the Bondi massacre, has been relatively protected from these mass shooting attacks. Now, shamefully, we are part of that. That's happened in the US and Europe and London and elsewhere. And we're part of that now. And we need to reject the so-called solutions that have been proposed by so many for so long in those countries that have not brought greater safety. And just finally, we cannot disconnect the very thorny question of the Jewish community and Israel. You cannot disconnect the two. None of it justifies violence against Jews, full stop. However, it is true that you have had for, frankly, many years, ever since I've been writing about Palestine, which is now over 20 years, but certainly since October 7, 2023, the most prominent pro-Israel voices in Australia and the Murdoch press saying that the way that we solve this issue is that we give 110% support to Israel, we quash or stop pro-Palestine protests, we don't recognize Palestine as a state, we ban comments like, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. This is what they're proposing. And it's not surprising that many, many people in the wider community say, you're trying to silence my legitimate free speech. I have the right as an Australian.
I think it's worth saying here that this just also fuels, like, people who are like, oh, who want to, like, completely discredit anti-Semitism when it is used in such a ridiculous way, like, such an obscene way of being like, oh, you know, you can't talk about Palestine from the river to the sea. Even globalize the Intifada. I saw someone saying, oh, it's a mistaken term for the pro-Palestine movement to use because it is always associated with violence. As Andy Clarno writes, The Second Intifada, the vast majority of people, although it was much more militant than the First Intifada, engaged in non-violent resistance. And the First Intifada was nearly total non-violent resistance in the face of extremist military violence by the State of Israel.
Australian or an American or a Brit to say from the river to the sea, which, by the way, as a Jew, I do not see as anti-Semitic at all. I see it as talking about a nation that should be full equality for all citizens, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, whatever. So do not buy into this knee-jerk response, which is silencing critical voices at this time. Now is the time when we need critical voices. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the podcast.
Yeah, if you want to check it out, it's cool. It's his the Anthony Lowenstein podcast. I'll post it here. And of course, like, you've got to remember that, like, you know, it's like how Zach Polanski, he just popped up here. I grew up and attended a synagogue in North Manchester. So many of us are feeling the horrific scenes today that all come at a time of rising anti-Semitism. The Green Party stands with the Jewish community and everyone affected, and thanks the emergency responders for their work. He spoke about it. Wait, I want to see if I can find his statements on... I want to see if I can find... But yeah, if you want to check out his book, he is a brilliant character. Hello, MKMT.
Green Party leader Zach Polanski is looking ahead to his party's conference in Bournemouth, but with a different light now, because he's also Jewish and grew up within the community very close to where the Heaton Park Synagogue is located. And he joins us now from Bournemouth. My goodness me, you know, it was going to be a big weekend for you anyway. I imagine your head is in a slightly different place now.
Undoubtedly, this is an incredibly difficult time for me and the Jewish community, but we're also a resilient community. And I believe an antidote to this kind of terrorist attack, we don't yet know the motives, is electoral politics. So although this has been difficult, I am determined that this will be both our biggest and best Green Party conference ever. We've got 80,000 members. Just to say why that's so significant, that's a 33% increase in membership in just the past few months. We've had lots of defections at the council level from the Labour Party, and I am determined that everybody in this country knows that my message this weekend is we're going to lower your bills, protect the National Health Service, and invest in our communities.
Which are important messages, of course, and well, I'm sure you'll be discussing and we'll be covering. But we have heard that politicians generally, from all sides, this has been commented.
Okay, I don't think I'm going to find the clip I want, but Polanski was good around this as well, because he was like just denying that we need draconian repression as a means to fix this. And like, yeah, I mean, because then compare like the chief rabbi of the UK talking about this.
Kind of thing we knew was inevitable. We were praying, hoping that it would never happen. But no surprise, because of the tone on the streets within our societies, with the hatred that is being expressed to the Jewish state, to Jews and to Judaism. And therefore, what's happening around us is inspiring some people to translate hate speech into hate action.
Fundamentally, this is a problem of extremism, right? Like this guy, this father and son pledged allegiance to the Islamic State. They had Islamic State flags in their car. This is now being reported much heavier. The Manchester synagogue attacker pledged allegiance to the Islamic State. What does the Islamic State have to do with the Palestine Solidarity Campaign in the United Kingdom? What does it have to do with that? What does the Islamic State have to do with secular leftists who support Palestine? What does it have to do? Even with the vast majority, in fact, nearly every Muslim who supports Palestine, what does the Islamic State have to do with them? What does it? Because Linking these two is crazy. But simultaneously, talking about extremism, extremist Salafis who support this kind of stuff, you cannot do this without talking about the extremism that also exists in every religious community. Christian extremists, I mean, the US government is led by a multitude of Christian extremists. Douglas Murray is a secular-ish extremist in the United Kingdom, but there are plenty as well of Jewish extremists.
You know, my own story is not really so important. One of our children called me to say, have you heard? And then there were some agonizing hours, actually, to discover what really transpired. Who was this an attack on? Who was involved? Who was implicated? How many were dead? How many were injured? But deep down, we knew this was an attack on Jewish people for the sin of openly celebrating their Jewishness. Time and time again, that's what we have experienced. But you know what? We saw those scenes at Bondi Beach, far more people than the first night, and that's how it's going to be here in the UK and right around the world. We're strong, we're tenacious, and we will celebrate our faith without fear.
You said there about hate speech being translated into action. And I just wondered if you could expand a bit on that. There has been some criticism, obviously, of the Australian political response to it, but particularly here in the United Kingdom, what is your message to political leaders, to the Prime Minister?
We have to crack down on hate speech in a far more forceful and emphatic way than we previously have been doing. By the way, the Prime Minister called me yesterday to express his solidarity and support, which I genuinely appreciate. Let's take, for example, cries such as from the river to the sea, or globalize the Intifada. What does globalize the Intifada mean? It means what happened at Eton Park Synagogue in Manchester and Yom Kippur. It means what happened on Bondi Beach.
Globalize the Intifada. It is a call for revolution. It is just an Arabic word that says revolution. It is not a direct call for violence. And people insinuating as such are being ridiculous.
The time has come once and for all not to allow such rhetoric to poison the minds of people.
I do not think in any capacity that this guy joined the Islamic State and pledged allegiance to the Islamic State because he saw a he saw someone say globalize the Intifada. When the Islamic State was at its peak, there were not marches of this size. But just listen to this guy. Because what I actually wanted to talk about with this guy is that so many people in other communities, the Jewish community and the Christian community in particular in Western society, get to give vent to their extremisms through Western-sanctioned governments, and particularly in the context of Israel, charities. There are a multitude of different charities which are clearly in violation of international law, where people can give money to the religious zealots who engage in the settler movement and abuse Palestinians regularly. There was a brilliant program about this in Canada, and all of these, all of the charities do it. There are many in the UK that do the same thing. But listen to this statement by the same guy.
Gone through the most awful and horrific tragedy on the 7th of October. And I'm seeing right around the world incredible resilience, as represented by the egg. Yes, in many places there is a rise in anti-Semitism. Yes, we are enduring a lot of unpleasantness, but Baruch Hashem, we're tough, we're strong. We are seeing larger numbers in shuls right around the world. The Jewish people is showing incredible strength at this very trying time. No one more so than our incredible, heroic soldiers, Chayalei Tzva Hagana Yisrael. When I was in Israel, I was welcomed by all my family, but I particularly wanted to see my son Danny, who has been called up, and he welcomed me to his army base. So Danny is part of quite a remarkable unit in the Israeli army. I doubt that there's any other army in the world which has a similar unit. It's a Hebrew tradition. But what he and his fellow soldiers had been prepared for in their training was nothing quite like what they've needed to deal with. Such was the enormity of the trauma of the
In any other context where you looked at a religious figure, a leader in the UK, praying for an army credibly accused of genocide, who have run torture chambers for decades and have accelerated them, whatever you think about going, no, I don't support Israel, I don't support the current Netanyahu government, no. Israel's Minister of National Security is a believer of an ideology which sanctions mass murder and torture of Palestinians. He runs Israel's prison system. He recently wore a noose. To Parliament. And you can give money. You can go and join the army of the state that he is the National Security Minister of.
On that day, and I met up with the members of that unit, part of the Hebrew Kadisha, dealing with such horrific details day after day. And what incredible people they are, so strong, fired with that mission of zeal in their avodat hakodesh, their sacred task for their people at this exceptionally difficult time. So we can be exceptionally proud of our soldiers, and may Hashem bless the state of Israel, that our soldiers will succeed.
Israel had killed tens of thousands of people already at this point. I don't think there's anything to push me towards a false flag attack. The two were members of the Islamic State. Yeah, that's why he had the noose pin on, because he wanted to execute Palestinian prisoners.
To put an end to the threat to the state and her citizens, and also to bring home every single one of our hostages. The Jewish way is to be like fish, to wear our identity on our sleeves, and to broadcast to the world we're Jewish, and we are proud of it. That's the Jewish way. And if ever we stop showing our pride in this way, we're in trouble. I genuinely believe that this is a time to be just like fish. We have so much to be proud of. We can be proud of the state of Israel, what it represents, how it has continued to exist with its hands tied behind its back. We can be proud of Chayalei Tzva Haganah Israel, our valiant, heroic soldiers. Tragically, over 200 have now died in battle. We can be proud of our values. Which other army in the world puts its own soldiers at risk in its efforts to try to minimize casualties amongst innocent civilians? And indeed, it has been tragic that there have been so many innocent civilians in Gaza who have died and who have suffered. Every loss of innocent life is a tragedy, and we lament that fact. But we can be immensely proud of the way in which the Israeli army has gone about its response.
Like, it's amazing. He offers, a small amount of condolences. Oh, it's a tragedy when humans die. And then just straight up says, oh, we can be immensely proud of the Israeli military.
Ability to defend the state and to bring the hostages back home. And regardless of what is happening around us, of what people might be saying or might not be saying, which flags are flying or are not flying, we know that what is right is what we subscribe to, that we are living a Torah true way of life, and we can validate our feelings through knowing that what Israel is doing is the most outstanding possible thing that a decent, responsible country can do for its citizens.
Like, I'm sorry, there were tens of thousands. Immensely proud. So far, they have killed 23,000. That was the point that Jonathan Cook posted this. We can be immensely proud of this. What I'm saying is that, sure, Ephraim Mervis may not be the most extreme amongst, Israelis living in the UK, but someone who is a Jewish extremist, who believes, already saying you're proud in the Israeli military is extremism. It definitely is. But I'm talking here about the most extreme. People who would want to carry out huge amounts of murder if they could and inflict it on any civilian they could get their hands on. People who feel like that in Jewish or Christian communities in Western society can go and do exactly that. They can go and join up a foreign military and do that. This guy, Gideon Falter, hold on, I'll check this.
You want to see politicians here doing?
Well, Sir Keir Starmer said in the aftermath of the attack on Yom Kippur in Manchester, where
hold on, I want to see if there's a better video of this. 1 second.
Do you want to see
There's not.
Do you?
Aftermath of the attack on Yom Kippur in Manchester, where 2 Jews were killed, we heard him say that he would do everything in his power to tackle this hatred, to fight back, and yet nothing has been done. The marches on our streets continue. The incitement, both on our campuses and on social media, continues unabated. We see this unbelievable two-tier policing where people standing up against extremism are being arrested.
You know, at every UK Palestine protest, there are a bunch of people who fly IDF flags, who blare music so loud that it hurts your ears, and they sing, "We are the champions, you are the losers, you have no state." And this guy's like, oh, this is two-tier policing. The fact that they are allowed to do that, there are minimum 70,000 people dead in Gaza, tens of thousands of people exterminated in the name of ensuring the existence of a Jewish supremacist state in the Middle East. And that's just okay.
Extremists themselves are being appeased by police forces who seem too timid to tackle the mobs in front of them. So what we really need...
By the way, as well, this guy is... the vice chairman of the Jewish National Fund, an organization that since its inception has bought land in Palestine and denied Palestinians from working on it.
From politicians is the kind of assertiveness that unfortunately has had to see us through many a crisis in the West before, where they name exactly what it is that we're fighting against, and they say, we will do.
It literally funds the Israeli military. Listen to this. The Canadian branch were used to fund projects including Camp Ariel Sharon in the Negev, an auditorium and training facilities at a Navy base in Bat Galim, and mess halls for the 124 and 131 squadron of the Israeli Air Force. They have funded mass murderers, the biggest mass murderers, some of the biggest mass murderers that we have seen of civilians in recent years. And that's just okay, because in Western society, Palestinians are deemed to be acceptable victims, whereas when it comes to Jewish people in Australia, that is not acceptable. Of course, killing any innocent people is not acceptable, but this guy can go on TV and be like, oh, this is all because of pro-Palestine stuff. And by the way, the organisation that he worked for has been accused by Navarra of giving over £1 million to the biggest militia in Israel, the Hashoma Hachadash. JNF's website says it has been supporting HH since 2011, though evidence of its donations to the organisation ends in 2018. Supported the Zionist pioneers. Like, it's just insane. It's just insane that this is like a normal thing. And hello again, Sophie.
Whatever it takes, but then equip our police forces and, if necessary, our security services to take firm action, because at the moment that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing security services which are overwhelmed. We're seeing police forces where even after what happened in Manchester, we're seeing West Midlands police now being hauled into Parliament again because they decided it was simpler to ban Jewish and Israeli football fans from...
This, like, the fact that this is allowed to go on unchallenged. These football fans were in Stuttgart the other day. By the way, Maccabi Tel Aviv fans are designated as the most racist football fans by Israel's own... hold on. Maccabi Tel Aviv fans are designated as the most racist football fans by Israel's own Kick It Out campaign. They are the worst offenders of racism. Not long ago, they were singing, this is the kind of stuff, apparently, like literally, these people say, globalize the Intifada and From the River to the Sea is genocidal against Jewish people. They chanted in Stuttgart, death to Arabs and fuck you Palestine, let the IDF fuck the Arabs, and you just hear this. Like, just that this goes on. Yeah,
Aston Villa rather than actually police events properly. This sort of thing is all symptomatic of a rot that goes right to the top. And we've had 2 successive governments now since October 7th, where they've seen the extremism really spilling out onto our streets, people celebrating all sorts of barbarity and depravity. And
there are literally people who at the pro-Israel marches fly Israeli military acts. No barbarity committed by Hamas compares to anything that Israel has done since October the 7th. Israel have tortured in their torture dungeons over 100 people to death. I want to remind you that. And British people can still go over and join up in the Israeli military.
Failing abjectly to make sure that our security services do what needs to happen, make sure that our police forces actually enforce the law. And unfortunately, you know, we are the days where we can say things like, well, we're referring people to prevent, and we are, you know, we're doing a risk assessment and we're taking things seriously and doing whatever's in our power. Those days are over. We now need to see action, and we need to see extremists, unfortunately, really being tackled and rounded up well before these attacks take place, not afterwards, as seems.
By the way, also, I can't really talk about this full article because it is insanely long. But if you're interested in reading something, that's a really interesting article, which is really well sourced from the Libertarian Institute. Salafis throwing bombs, how American and British planners partnered with Al-Qaeda affiliated groups at the start of the Syrian civil war by William van Wagenen, I assume is how you say his name. There are literally bits in here about like how the UK facilitated a group called the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group. By the way, this was the group of which the Ariana Grande concert bomber was a fighter in. I'll send it in, but yeah, it's you just have a look at it. It's crazy. It's so long, though. Look how long it is. It must be like, I don't even know how many words. It is very long.
To be yet again happening here.
Okay, Gideon Falter, thank you.
Australia is clearly penetrated. Penetrated by what? What are you talking about? But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, look at the way in which this is being framed in the media and how quick these people were to just say this shit. Here's Jamie Hyams, the Australian Israel's and Jewish Affairs Council.
I just wondered if you could let us know what specifically are you calling on our political leaders to do?
Well, there needs to be an end to the incitement for starters. So, you know, you can't have these rallies with people waving Hezbollah flags and carrying pictures of Ayatollahs of Iran and so on. There needs to be... We have an anti-Semitism envoy appointed by the government, and she recently put out, or not so recently, unfortunately, in July, put out a multi-point plan about how to combat anti-Semitism. And the government has basically sat on it, not done anything with it at all. The only thing we heard was that the Minister for Education said that before we do anything, they want to wait and see what the Islamophobia envoy has to say. And the Islamophobia envoy's report came out a couple of months ago now, and we've still seen nothing. So there's multiple strands to that strategy. There's cracking down on extremism, on incitement. You know, we have Muslim community publications that have this extreme incitement against Israel all the time, and you know, Jews are marginalised. There's also education. You know, there's anti-Semitism and anti-Israel incitement going on all through our universities, and
like literally just they are using this to crack down on universities. The vast majority of people who go to universities are not interested in Salafi Islamic State ideology. They are interested in left-wing politics.
Now, our schools, which needs to be cracked down on. So there's this multi-phase process that's needed to make sure that the community comes out against anti-Semitism, make sure that they know.
As I say, minimum 70,000 Palestinians have been exterminated on the basis of anti-Palestinian racism. And this is just acceptable. We'll listen to some more Anthony Lowenstein as a bit of a palate cleanser, because obviously he's a lot more rational and sensible.
Myself, I was about half an hour away last night. I was celebrating Hanukkah at my home with my family. I'm not religious, but it's become, I guess, almost a cultural annual celebration with my family. There were 2 gunmen. I found out very quickly what was...
But they were using the most basic weapons, a bolt-action 308 and 2 pump-action shotguns. Wait, you said, it's really not that strange, Shiznits. It's surreal, like all crimes are. Yeah, conspiracy theories largely operate on the fact that, like, basically not everything can be explained about an event, and unreliable statements from witnesses, because the human mind is pretty fucking unreliable, especially in a time of high stress and tragedy.
Going on, it wasn't obviously entirely clear initially the extent of the carnage. We now know some more details. There's so much we still don't know about this horrific attack. It was clearly directed at the Jewish community. There was a public Hanukkah event on Bondi. For those who don't know, a lot of people know Bondi. It's an internationally famous beach. It's a very open place. There's lots of tourists, lots of Australians. It's obviously summer here, so it's obviously warm. And it was light, so it gets dark here quite late being summer. And it was
The only thing with this is it's showing things, so actually I'm gonna choose to watch something else by Lowenstein.
And in other places, I've seen how...
Anti-Semitism and...
All of these show clips of the shooting, so I don't want to... I don't want to show it. This is a bit of an issue. But yeah, I mean, by the way, we also got a direct statement of the chief rabbi saying the demonization of Israel has poisoned the minds in many people.
Increased polarization, haven't we, since the 7th of October attacks and all that followed?
Yes, you are right to mention the 7th of October, because Israel has been fighting a war for its very survival, and the demonization of Israel, and through...
This is just insane. This is just genuinely insane that this is allowed to go on television. Imagine in any other context that there had been this many people who were exterminated, and the state stood accused of genocide, the crime of all crimes, using starvation as a weapon of war, denying people the right to eat, and all of these things. Imagine that was going on. Imagine that was going on. You would not have it and take it.
That the demonization of Jews and Judaism has poisoned the minds of many people, and we see how very often hate speech can become translated into hate action. And it's what I was saying, policing, enforcing the law in a strict way, stopping all forms of dangerous, hateful comments, controlling and regulating social media, not just treating the symptoms, let's treat the actual cause as well.
Like, how is it more extreme to say, to say heinous shit on social media than it is to go on national news and make the claim that Israel is fighting for its very existence whilst it is perpetrating genocide against Palestinians?
Okay, and in other places, we have seen how in the UK and in other places, for far too long, we have allowed chants such as globalize the Intifada and from the river to the sea, which incite hatred and which inspire people to engage in hate action. Why is it still allowed? You know, what is the meaning of globalize the Intifada? I'll tell you the meaning. It's what happened at Heaton Park Synagogue in Manchester on Yom Kippur. It's what happened on Bondi Beach yesterday.
Both were attacks carried out by the Islamic State. Like, straight up confront this. This is known. In fact, you know what? Like, I've been saying this. Hold on. What we know about the shooting, Islamic State. 2 Islamic State group flags were found in the car, a senior official told ABC News. ISIS has carried out the Heaton Park Synagogue attack. The ISIS preachers have encouraged... Wait, I'll pull this up as well. ISIS preachers have encouraged lone wolf attacks. Wait, let me show you. So this is from Assessing the Gaza War's Impact on Salafi Jihadist Messaging in the MENA Following Resistance Axis Losses. Similarly, ACAP, Al-Qaeda's, so that's Al-Qaeda's, what is ACAP? It's Al-Qaeda affiliate. Leader Khubayb al-Sudani has called for lone actors in the West, and specifically in the US in the wake of October the 7th, which he has compared in terms of significance to the 9/11 attacks. ACAP's Malahem media arm has produced more than 80 Inspire attacks amidst these calls, referencing Gaza and Israel. Listen to this one. Islamic State has followed suit with its spokesperson, Abu Hudahafeya al-Ansari, declaring in March 2024 that in the wake of the war in Gaza, the group was to renew and repeat its incitement for the lone lions to strive intensely to target the Crusaders and Jews in every place. Like, people love citing what Hamas is saying, but they never ever cite this shit. The Islamic State spokesperson has encouraged this, and we've seen multiple attacks. They don't want to deal with this seriously. They don't. They want to use it as a crackdown on Palestine. How is this going to protect the Jewish community? It's not.
That is how the Intifada is globalized. It's gone on for far too long, and we have to be far stricter with regard to what people are allowed to say and to do in a way which incites the hatred which produces the violence that we have witnessed. We have seen...
Like, this just being the level of political commentary across British media today. And no discussion of them being Islamic State figures. Like, that's, you know, a really important factor. And instead talking about demonization of Israel. Like, this is just constant demonization of pro-Palestinian protests.
Yes.
Like, listen to this as well. We got a Labour minister who is the, what is she? Welsh Labour MP, Minister of, for Victims Against Women and Violence Against Women and Girls.
You know, the question as well is, does the government need to do more? Do you need to take a tougher line? Because, you know, chants like from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, globalise the Intifada, you know, you hear this stuff. You know, if you go to certain music concerts, if you go to certain protests, you will hear that.
And I want to be very, very clear that chants like that, any chants that are designed to intimidate, call for violence, call for the murder of Jews are totally unacceptable. And the government has introduced new legislation in order to protect religious places of worship, because anyone who is seeking to protest outside of those venues needs to be very mindful of what they're doing. And I will defend the right to protest. The government will. It is a fundamental right of democracy. And there is a lot of people who are feeling very, very hurt about the actions of certain governments around the world right now, and they have a fundamental right to protest. What they do not have is a right to intimidate British citizens or call for violence in our streets.
The Israeli government literally talks about from the river to the sea. The most amazing one was earlier today when we had Sharon Haskell, who is the on the Times radio.
And letters and
she's got a photo of fucking Jabotinsky behind her. Like, he's literally a Zionist fascist. Like, look at this. Look at this as well.
Around the pro-Palestinian marches, because actually at the bottom of all of this, I would say that the majority of people who attend these marches are not anti-Semitic, and they would never even dream of saying something anti-Semitic. I think at the root of it, you have people who are anti-killing in every sense of the word.
What I imagine you're referring to, Andrew, is that there are phrases that emerge.
And they should be arrested.
Globalise the Intifada, and Jewish community would say, you hear a phrase like that, and the consequence is that people think globalise the Intifada, Jew hate.
I don't think these two people started shooting on Bondi Beach because they heard a pro-Palestinian march. I think they did this because they've got into a cesspit online, and this is a government problem.
Sorry, none of us know, except we know that they hated Jews.
But on the language you're talking about, the Metropolitan Police Commission did an interview last week with Nick Ferrari, I think, on LBC, where he said that some of these phrases, it can be debated as to whether they're anti-Semitic. I'm sorry,
Yeah, this is exhausting to listen to. Aussie Jews were murdered, and Israel and its allies are going me. Of course. This is exactly what Israel was going to use this for, though. It is an instantaneous politicization to target the pro-Palestinian movement.
They are anti-Semitic.
Absolutely.
And they should be called out. And
Like, what are you talking about? How is it anti-Semitic to say from the river to the sea and globalize the Intifada? How is it anti-Semitic to show solidarity with Palestinian non-violent resistance? I'm sorry, the first Intifada categorically non-violent. And yet these people just reduce it to, no. It's calling for incitement against Jewish people. That needs to be banned because it hurts Jewish people's feelings and such. But like, and this really isn't where it ends as well. This is not being treated seriously at all, by the way. Suspicion falls on Iran for Bondi Beach terror. Why? You know that there are Islamic State flags, and the Telegraph goes, this is an Iranian-backed foreign terror cell. Listen to this. Intelligence sources said the attack on the Bondi Beach celebration appeared to be sophisticated and well-planned and carried the hallmarks of 9/10, Hezbollah's feared external operations arm. An Iranian link to the attack would follow a pattern of terror plots and attacks in Australia in recent years. Israel's Mossad intelligence revealed in October that it had thwarted dozens of terror attacks around the world on Jewish and Israeli targets since October the 7th, 2023, in countries including Greece, Germany, Belgium, Sweden, and Australia. Like, it's not serious. It's not serious. These people don't give a shit about this. They don't give a shit about extremism because, of course, they don't want to deal with it. Of course, they don't want to deal with any of this. Like, they don't want to deal with the fact that, like, Of course there are Islamist extremists. Of course the Islamic State exists. Of course they do. And of course there are people who choose to engage in violent actions. I literally just read you the Islamic State's media arm calling for lone wolf actions like this, and then they see them. And what's the reaction of our media? This is the sophisticated arm of Hamas and Hezbollah. There's no mention, by the way, of the flags. No Islamic State? Let's have a look if there's any IS. No, it's just is. Oh, no, wait. No. Here we go. Mr. Citrinovitz, who formerly headed the Iran branch. It can also be that they are hiring proxies, criminals, or those in the local communities, which is the modus operandi of Iran. But Iran's involvement in targeting Jewish facilities in Sydney and Melbourne really points that way. We cannot rule out the Sunnis, however. We know that Al-Qaeda and IS have also been active in Australia. This isn't going to be an easy investigation. If it's Iran or Hezbollah, as they will be covering their tracks really very well. That's it. One mention. And they claim instantaneously that this is an Iranian-led operation. There was an Iranian defector fled arrest in Iran by claiming political asylum in Australia. Iran told... What's the name of this guy? I've never heard this story. This is the Telegraph, because of course it is. It's just insane. It's just insane that, like, there's no confrontation of, like, the fact of, like, yeah, Islamic State have encouraged lone wolf actors to do this. Like, they are quite literally lone wolves. That's what the Islamic State called them. What did you say, Lydia Cruddy? What video? Hold on. Yeah, I did see the video of the anti-Zionist Jewish woman being removed, who's literally a local and being framed as someone attacking like the Jewish community. Like, yeah, instantaneously, this is the line that the Jerusalem Post went. Israeli officials are investigating whether Iran was behind today's Hanukkah massacre at the Bondi Beach. Israel had given Australia that Iran was putting infrastructure in place and smuggling weapons into the country in order to attack Jewish targets. Half the people who see this will not care when anything more comes out. They won't care that the guy was like an Islamic State extremist. They just won't. They don't care that hundreds of Palestinians are tortured to death by extremists born in Israel and from all over Europe who get to go over to a foreign settler colony and abuse Palestinians. Them saying that Iran might have been able to cover their tracks really well is just them admitting that they're never going to be able to find evidence of this, but they're still going to say it 100%. The guy had Islamic State flags in his car. Like, what more do you need to know? And someone also mentioned that they're like chuds who enjoyed hunting and all of these things. But yeah. Who are you talking about? But yeah, it was stopped by a Muslim man. But, like, that shouldn't be the situation you're in, you know, praying that a Muslim guy stops it. Manharon Monis. Interesting, I never knew that. Wow. Holy shit, I hadn't seen anyone mention this. On the 15th of December, Manharon Monis in 2014. Wait, is anyone talking about this? I'm sure that people will be. Holy shit, that's actually like a really interesting thing. He printed off an A3 ISIS flag. Darun ve Birun. Fucking hell. He declared allegiance to the Islamic State of Iraq in the Levant. Yeah, I mean, crazy that it happened on the 15th of December as well. That's actually mad. I'd never heard that story. But maybe there's some kind of link in the sense of they were commemorating it. But also, just look at this. Like, once again, Israel is inviting the far right to, like, their country. They invite Tommy Robinson. And let's listen to what happened.
This small but growing movement is calling on people to be patriotic about Australia and for a pause in mass migration.
It's not racist at all. It's just about mass immigration and people coming over and not assimilating with the Aussie way of life.
After COVID, 1.4 million people...
You believe the media so fast when it fits your narrative. What are you talking about? Like, genuinely, what are you talking about? Why do you think that the media would make up that there are Islamic State flags in his car? Like, why do you not think that, like, listening to the Islamic State saying, hey, carry out a mass shooting attack as lone wolves is a good idea? Like, why would that be insane? And also, it's a really interesting thing that you pointed out to say, by the way, on the 15th of December, that there was also a shooting carried out.
Entered Australia. It's since dropped almost 40%. But for these protesters, it's not enough. Fran Grant and her friend Jerry believe the country can't afford to take in any more.
I love Australia and I'm not happy with what's happening to it at the moment.
What's happening?
You know, there are so many homeless people, veterans on the streets, there's not enough housing, and it looks like the Labor government are continuing to bring in immigrants that I have no problem with if we have the infrastructure to support it, and we don't.
We want to send them back to their lands.
Also protesting the extreme right. Australian...
Jesus Christ, did you see that guy's face? The master race is here.
The extreme right. Australian neo-Nazis.
Like, this shit is happening around you. This shit is happening around you. Like, people chanting, oh, hail Australia.
Stoking fear, recruiting, and in Melbourne, fighting.
Oh my God.
Back at the Sydney rally, this event organiser says neo-Nazis are welcome to attend if they don't fight.
Couldn't it give your movement a bad name, though, to have neo-Nazis associated with it?
You know, I've been called a Nazi more times than I can count in the last 3 months, and it doesn't bother me anymore. If you want to call me a Nazi, then fine, call me a Nazi.
I'm now going to head to a rally supporting the other side of the debate. It is against racism and pro-migration.
Nazis are not welcome here!
While the crowd here is smaller, people are worried about rising tension, dividing the community.
Anyone being serious would be talking about this. I've spoken about it before. There are so many clips of Tommy Robinson being anti-Semitic, and the kind of violence and hatred that they sow will not end with Palestinians. It will not end with Muslims. It will turn back onto Jewish people.
These marches are just about pushing the far-right, white supremacist, white nationalist, and racist agenda. And they are targeting migrants heavily.
A short drive away, in Sydney's eastern suburbs, one expert says neo-Nazi leaders are targeting men who are struggling.
It's young men who are at the margins, primarily. Men who feel like life's not working for them. Men who feel like they're no longer able to gain a meaningful job, build an upward social trajectory, get a house, find a wife. We know that the Nazis see this as their time to capitalise.
What have you got here?
At home in the suburbs with her scaly pets, Fran Grant says she goes to the March for Australia rallies because she loves her country.
My mum was a 10-pound pom. I've got friends that have migrated to this country. They've made a great contribution. Instead of just saying racism, let's just have a look and see what's best for all people that live here now. And that includes the migrants that are already here.
Yeah, Anthony Lowenstein mentioned in his podcast that how, like, all these people say, oh, violence is not a thing in Australia. He was like, literally, our state is founded on violence, and the death of black Aboriginal people in custody is at the highest point it's ever been. Or up there, or it's recently peaking, I guess, since it started recording.
Fran calls herself patriotic, not racist.
Why do we continue to talk about men like they are sad little babies? Because I think that people think that it'll reach out to them, but I think a lot of people are just beyond reach, and that realistically, I think that all of this crap about how it pertains to, definitely look, people look for enjoyment in ways when they're not finding it in their lives, but all of this crap that people vote against their interests, that they're just going to vote the right way if it's offered them the right thing, no. A lot of these people are just really, really violent extremists.
But as an anti-immigration wave ripples through this country, waiting in the wings are Australia's neo-Nazis who believe their time has come.
Like, they're literal neo-Nazis, and do you think that recognising the state of Palestine is what spurred on the neo-Nazis? Do you think that's the case?
Anti-Semitism, there's really been a huge increase in anti-Palestinian racism and Islamophobia, and it's really important that we take note of those, and we take note of, even in this time as well, the anti-Palestinian racism and the Islamophobia in the last 24 hours has just been overwhelming, that this is the communities that are being blamed for this. A lot of it is being focused on suggesting that this is the responsibility of Palestinians, when obviously, it is not, and it's not the responsibility of people who support Palestine. Netanyahu said that this happened because Australia recognised Palestine, which is just so clearly false, and is really, Netanyahu making his political gain. So often the point of attacks like this, and the point of so much of the racist backlash that follows, is to divide us. We all need to find our ways in which to stand up against racism, to put ourselves on the line. And he really did. And, I was reading just before that there's a risk that he might lose his arm, that he was shot, multiple times. He really, he put himself on the line, and that's an incredible act of bravery, but it's a bravery that hopefully all of us have inside us in some way.
Yeah, definitely the mass onboarding during the pandemic is a terrible, terrible, objectively just awful thing. The fact that so many people spend way too much time online now, and that Twitter has basically cultivated a right-wing echo chamber.
And that all of us...
all social media can do it, but Twitter is just the worst.
Need to find inside us in some way to bridge these gaps that other people want to put between us.
Yeah, of course, fuck Netanyahu. But unfortunately, there are people worse than Netanyahu who are just getting involved with this. Also, by the way, just look at this video. This was the last time I was at a pro-Palestine march. Or no, it wasn't the last time, but one of the times.
We are the champions. We are the champions. All your dead.
Like, they're singing "We Are the Champions" at a pro-Palestine march with IDF flags everywhere. Like, it is literally just a display of IOF flags, all you can see. I'm sorry, like, we're told, no, you can't say globalize the intifada, but you can do that. You can do that legally, totally acceptably, in the UK. Like, that's just something that you can do. That's just, like, an amazing thing that you are enabled to do in the UK. You know?
You're very...
Just truly wonderful. Is it worth saving? The West, I mean, as I kept bringing up, I read that one of the reasons that one of the things that the League of Nations struggled to get through after the First World War, you know, a point where allegedly the world fought this beautiful victory for democracy. After that, they couldn't pass legislation because Lord Balfour wouldn't accept that all human beings were equal. What a wonderful world.
Very strong message. Think of...
This is Rabbi Yehuda Kaploon, Trump's pick for U.S. anti-Semitism, Sar.
About it. Ironically, I get off a plane. I am the president's representative, and I am walking off with a yarmulke, and I have kosher food, and embassies will have kosher food. It is a game changer. The appointment is a game changer. And it's not about history. It's about education. And how do we educate? Indonesia has 350 million Muslims living in the country. How do we change their textbooks? How do we hold the people in Gaza accountable that if America is paying for UN textbooks and supposedly the changes are made, why are those textbooks not being used and why are they using their old textbooks? We have to teach people it's not okay to educate your kids to be a martyr, okay? And we have to hold those countries accountable. How do we battle anti-Semitism on the internet? How are we doing better on algorithms? What companies can we work with? We are going to have a whole division within the office of the Special Envoy to combat anti-Semitism that is going to work on technology.
Like, honestly, and this is the thing, I don't think it's wrong to say that there is very evidently, like, people who there is a rising attempt to engage against violence against Jewish people. The Islamic State is growing once again in prominence, and it's not, like, you don't, like, disaffected people who are wanting to engage with extremism. Not that surprising, but look at the Trump administration. This is the same administration that is now going to change algorithms to deal with anti-Semitism, that has had, you know, Elon Musk retweeting Nazi stuff, doing a Hitler salute and getting away with it, and also, simultaneously, you have had the fact that there is just, like, the president referring to certain human beings as garbage.
And working with the greatest leaders in technology, many of whom are Jewish and have offered their assistance. The office is going to be revamped entirely to be one of the highest profile offices in the State Department because that's what the secretary wants.
By the way, also, when people like this say, oh, Palestinians are taught to hate, it's because Palestinians are taught their history. That's actually what these guys mean. Like, 100% that is what these people mean. Like, when you hear Trump, when you hear anyone talking about how Palestinians are taught to hate, what it actually is directly just them basically being like, oh, you know, Palestinians are taught about the Nakba and they don't like Israel because of it. They learn their history. How do you think that October the 7th and the situation afterwards is in any way going to solve that problem? Like, Israel's violence and genocide against Palestinians. How do you think that's going to sit with raising a generation of Palestinians who love Israel?
And that's what the president wants. So we are going to have a very, very strong mandate on education, on protecting people.
By the way, also, having a government that engages in such heinous racism but simultaneously says, oh, no, when it comes to Jewish people, we're like the biggest protectors of Jewish people in the entire world, is insane. Like, it's insane, and it only fuels the situation. Like, it only fuels people who are like, well, you know, they're controlled because they get the right gets everything else that they want. Extremist racism talks of free migration, but they don't get commentary on Jewish people.
And how are we able to make a huge difference in combating what goes on?
We'll finish this up in a second. But you also, like, instantaneously, Bondi Beach is what globalized the Intifada looks like. Wait, I'm just going to move myself down just to cover the image, just in case, but I think it should be fine. So this is Brett Stevens. By the way, someone put out a great tweet. I can't remember who they are. And they were like, do you think it is wrong to assume that they've had this waiting in the wings for any kind of like attack so they can use it in this means? And it's obviously true. No, Israel is not committing genocide in Gaza. Brilliant, brilliant, like brilliant. This is why black history is being erased in the US, why conservatives hate anyone shining a light on the history. 100%, 100%. Like, this is the thing. They claim that black people are taught to hate, like, you know, white people, but it's literally just being taught their own history of oppression by, you know, the US government. But apparently that's unacceptable. And, like, as well, someone posted this on Leftovers H3, and I do think that this also shows you what is serving to delegitimize, like, anti-Semitism as, like, an actual form of racism. Disney's Disney's official Christmas hat features a teenage girl with a watermelon sticker. Is neutrality in children's spaces just to bring us together too much to ask? Disney doesn't need to add more tension to an already fractured world. What, like, seriously? This guy's, like, treated like a serious voice on anti-Semitism. Like, do you wonder why people don't take anti-Semitism seriously? Between the Israeli government using it to justify mass killing and this guy using it to talk about how upset he is with Disney Plus, it's just unbelievable. It's just truly unbelievable that this is the level of discourse going on in this country. And all over the world. So I want to check if I had anything left to say on this. I really don't think I do. I think we've covered the main points. And yeah, I just think it's, yeah. It's obviously, like, once again, as I started this out, it is very obviously a horrible situation. And yeah, Disney is totally pro-Palestine. All right, we'll move on to a little palate cleanser with something a bit less, you know, like, a bit less... serious and, you know, difficult topic. So anyway, Isaac posted, at Noah Sampson breaks silence on the Ethan Klein lawsuit, talks liberal Zionism, and more. No Politics Here, episode 3. By the way, go watch it if you haven't. The No Politic Here, episode 3 is doing fire. It's got like 30,000 views, I think. Really happy with that. It's a brilliant episode. Who doesn't love No Politic Here? Go through, watch all the old episodes. We got crazy stuff going on there. And yeah, I'm really grateful for the way in which you're receiving it. A meme palette cleanser. Okay, we'll watch this meme. Okay. I like Christian Divine, so we'll watch this.
New York Times. My food was too spicy. An argument for a stronger border. Is Hamas paying Miss Rachel? There's no evidence, but here's what we know.
The cure to male loneliness. Here's what a neo-Nazi thinks.
We're the New York Times. Here's how the Democrats can win. Run Joe Biden again.
Is Mamdani too good to be true? We asked this random guy in Ohio, and he said yes.
Taxing the rich? The left's secret bigotry problem.
We're the New York Times.
Here's how Democrats can win. Pay me $1 million, and I'll tell you how.
DEI and SNAP at risk? Maybe acronyms are the problem.
Can women be leaders? No.
We're the New York Times. The solution to the healthcare crisis. Abolish healthcare. I love my local cops. Here's why you should too.
Is Venezuela the new Iraq? We hope so.
We're the New York Times. Here's how Democrats can win.
We're the New York Times.
But yeah, sorry, apologies, right? Let's go back to this. So yeah, anyway, Isaac, that's a great video. Isaac posted the thing you can see here. Harley Morenstein said, "That disgusting, beady-eyed, racist piece of shit." By the way, Noah is Asian, someone told me. So, you know, already a pretty racist statement to call an Asian person beady-eyed. Pretty crazy. Don't know why you would be saying that. Genuinely insane. Bad Empanada says, "Go make another video about epic bacon for 5k views, dude." Harley Morenstein said, "I saw your Seeking profile. I can help you fix it up. Good luck with your quest for love." Such an angry old man. Speaking of racist pieces of shit, how's your pedophile Nazi friend Sam Hyde? Jewish derangement syndrome alert. What? It is utterly ridiculous. Take Isaac some Freddos when you next go to Canada. Maybe I just will. Thanks for the $3.92, and thank you for anyone who can donate support and becomes a member. All of that stuff is helping the podcast and the podcast. There's no way to help it, just watching it at the moment, but helping the channel goes. How is it talking about Sam Hyde being a Nazi? Ethan derangement system? Ethan derangement, Jewish derangement syndrome. No idea what this guy's talking about. But anyway, this led to a longer conflict between Harley and... It is utterly ridiculous. Garlic Fries, thanks for the membership for 4 months. Isaac ratioed him and said, "Take it easy, bud. Your Zionist bloodlust is showing. Attention, everyone. He had to post this tweet again here with the words changed because he used an anti-Semitic slur invented by the KKK, and even Twitter, notorious for amplifying Jew hate, had to censor him. I knew Noah was racist. I guess now I know you are too." By the way, Isaac used the term Zionazi. That's the term he used. But yeah, a Zionazi. Amazing commentary. And someone said, "Just here to add to the ratio. Welcome to join up with the rest of the gang that uses tragedies of the Middle East to build up their engagement. You're right at home here." This guy is truly amazing. By the way, what Isaac said is definitely not a slur. Like, it's not. Like, let's be frank here. And also, the major concern about, like, Jewish safety... I would say Sam Hyde, who donated to the Der Stormer, right? Or Storm... No, he donated to Stormfront, not Der Stormer. Might be a little more problematic. And also, by the way, his statement about his vision had a comment about Ben Shapiro, which seemed a bit fucking racist. I'm not gonna lie. It seemed quite racist. You could use the term Judeo-Nazi as well, which was invented by Yehuda Leibowitz, who was who was an Israeli man himself. But yeah, amazing things are happening here. There's some amazing commentary in the comments from Harley Morenstein. "Yeah, he should have just called you a waste of resources and a shit stain on history. Yeah, for sure. But instead he chose to be on his KKK tip." It is utterly ridiculous. And use their words. "Racist gonna be racist." I believe Harley is friends with Sam Hyde. Yeah, someone referenced that. Hi Henry, hi everyone, and thanks for the $2, Noxolotl. I guess the bacon finally restricted blood flow to your brain. Get back to palliative care, you ancient psycho. Me when I lie for attention. He literally did it again and got flagged for using a slur invented by the KKK again. I got receipts, bitch. You realize the owner of this app is a Nazi? Laughing my ass off. Should I be surprised that he flags posts you are shitting on them? Oh no, you poor bastard. You thought the KKK invented the term Nazi? That's so dumb, lol. Girl, what? He didn't flag a post shitting on a Nazi. He flagged a post using a slur for Jewish people invented by the KKK. Wow. How did you confuse yourself in literally one sentence? Bad Empanada's just been... Bad Empanada had a funny engagement with Alonso Garamendi that was really stupid. But listen to this. He can't stop slurring. And then Bad Empanada just tweeted, "Attention, everyone! The slurring question was Zio-Nazi. Stop acting like Nazis if it offends you, lil bro." Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. Totally fair from Isaac. Don't view it.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Sorry, I'm... Panda Princess we're going to go for. Thanks for the membership. Shout out to all the new members. We got a ton of you now. Thanks to everyone who supported. You know, it's greatly appreciated. It stops me having to take the Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. And so, I didn't see this from Do Not Worry Pod, friend of the show. Do Not Worry Pod. Shout out Do Not Worry Pod. Love you guys. But he just posted a photo of Harley in blackface, which, why was this guy doing blackface like that? That is insane. You can never converse in mentions, lol. Always gotta signal blast the conversation to get some little boost of engagement. Anyways, do you think all people born in a country are inherently evil because they are born in that country? Any country in the world, you can choose. Yes, I do think all Quebecois are evil. Calling it a country using accents, you are Quebecois. Wouldn't it be funny if a paraglider crashed through your window the second you replied it was new metal enjoyer? I don't know. Okay, thanks.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Hey, Bexmel, thanks for becoming a member, for level 1 member. Shout out. Yeah, I don't know why he did full body blackface. Jesus Christ, anyone doing blackface is crazy. Epic Burger Man is upset by Isaac owning him. Isaac destroys him. Okay, thanks. I like new metal enjoyer. No, I don't think, but Israelis are not a society I consider normal. They have social media trends mocking Palestinians as they bomb them. Songs about genocide chart at number 1, and over 80% of the people are okay with what's happening in Gaza. They also bomb and invade my country regularly. Very, very, very reasonable point. Well, you won't touch this one, because you are probably aware that Noah Samson has already called an entire country of people evil because they live in that country. You won't touch this because you low-key know Noah Samson is an absolute moron and racist. Very smart. There is literally a photo of you doing blackface. What is the link between this guy and Sam Hyde? Oh. There's a video on his channel called Epic Knuckle Sandwich, No Such Thing as a Play Fight. Brilliant work. You literally worked and operated to rehabilitate a genuine neo-Nazi. Well done, Harley. Well done. Of course you're the most concerned about anti-Semitism in the room. Let's have a look at...
Is bad. Whatever you think about Israel, Iran is bad or worse. They are the fucking... evil. They are the evil fucking... They are the reason for all this bullshit.
I forgot Ethan said that. Has Harley Morenstein be going off and off and off on his own account? He posted a photo of Bad Empanada eating this little goblin with his pointy, gross beard and pointy little titties called me slurs today. All because I destroyed him in a debate about the importance of words and language. Why is it indented? What is going on here? Sam Hyde trained to... Jesus Christ. Imagine if debating was your thing and you got lit up by the bacon guy. He's so pissed. Sorry if I pop up with on your timeline with a bunch of crazy shit. Haha. I fucking hate this app. And whenever I come here, I just can't help myself. What are you talking... Who watches this guy? God, he was on like a long-ass debate with a lot of people.
You know me,
Yeah, false flag, eh? Who do you think did it?
Huh?
Who do you think did it?
We all know.
Who did it? Oh, the Islamic terrorists did it. Because
Sorry, I'm watching a video of Drew Pavlu apparently getting mogged by some guy here.
False flag A.
But he doesn't even know me. I just put him in the bunny.
False flag A. Who do you think did it?
Huh?
Who do you think did it?
We all know.
Who did it? Oh, the Islamic terrorists did it. Because it was an ISIS-style attack.
They can label it how they like.
Okay, yeah.
No.
You think the Jews did it to themselves?
Huh?
You think the Jews did it to themselves?
No. But people have a different perspective and different.
Okay,
you know
different
what
perspective.
I mean? So they do things in a. Why are you recording me?
It's disgusting, man. You're defending terrorism.
Okay. Yeah.
False flag A.
Crazy. Jihadi sympathizer next to me at the hardware. So why is Drew Pavlou always getting into confrontations like this? But, I mean, put frankly here, like, I don't think this is a false flag. He completely mogged you. Bad Empanada is just commenting on everything Drew Pavlou does. Also, by the way, it's so funny. Like, Drew Pavlou is like, jihadi sympathizer. Get the hell out of my country. Go home. He is like a far-right winger. Like, Drew Pavlou has become increasingly far-right. Someone said something that I wanted to read. I grew up with Sam Hyde and his pals on the internet. I was always left-wing. My skin is leather. I changed my username so I can say this now. The private Discord server is more wild than you think. Wow, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I know this guy has, like, a Nazi-like views on the internet. I mean, look, Sam Hyde, like, you know, I didn't really know that he was, like, a mega Nazi. I found him, like, funny, some of the things he did when I was younger. But now it's like, okay, the guy's a Nazi. Why would you want to be anywhere near him? But yeah, I mean, like, I'm just reading through, Bad Empanada said, he's definitely being paid for this, laughing my ass off. They weren't, looking for random YouTubers to come on their show and obsessively make pro H3 videos, and he was the only one who said yes. Yo, you two would make a perfect couple. You can obsess over Jewish people while you fuck yourselves. They're paying this one too. The epic bacon videos stopped getting views. I retired the show 5 years ago, Empanada. I had pointy titties from doing a fast food show for over a decade. Why do you have pointy titties? He really likes talking about pointy titties. There's also loads of engagement on these. Someone just posted. Space Rhino says end genocide. You are a white man. This year, the year is 2014. You tweet this, it slaps. Everyone hits the like button. When are we getting an epic mealtime at Auschwitz? It would be perfect. Wait, that's not very funny. Or maybe you're just waiting for Israel to complete its genocide and fully occupy Gaza. I don't think that's a funny comment, by the way, from this guy. Well, that's a fucked up thing to say. I can't tell the commies and Nazis apart this day. The commies freed Auschwitz, by the way, you dumbass Zionist fuck. Are you pissed about that, so Nazi? You are closer to a Nazi than I am. You're actually a Nazi. But yeah, I mean, this is obviously a horrible, horrible guy. Let's have a look at Isaac's tweets. There's a funny Bad Empanada tweet in here. He also, by the way, this guy wants to call into the show. I really don't know. Harley Plays spent his whole career promoting heart disease to children, which makes sense because there's nothing Zionists love more than killing kids. That's a funny tweet. It's so funny that a Jewish supremacist is famous for buying McDonald's and putting more bacon on it. Where did I claim Jewish supremacy? Is that what you really do? Lie? Because I made you look stupid before? You're going to make up lies? Wow. We had an LDA compliant channel. What does LDA mean? What's LDA? Can one of my American friends tell me? Meaning 75% of our viewers were older than 25 years old. That's how we were able to obtain liquor brand deals. If you watched when you were younger, then you had cool parents, or maybe they didn't give a shit what you did. End of the day, Harley created something that resonated. All you freaks do is tweet about Zionism and will go on to achieve nothing in your lives. Well, maybe if they tweet enough, there will be peace in the Middle East. 25% child viewers are a lot. 25% was accounts with no age, 13 plus, and people that aren't signed in. We censored swear words and still never made the content for kids, which probably equaled under 10% of our views. Dude, everyone in school watched your videos. Like, everyone. Epic Mealtime was watched by almost every kid who could. Those 25-year-olds were just kids with accounts that listed fake ages. Probably I had an account with fake ages, and I love Epic Mealtime. I mean, we looked at these before, but these were the crazy tweets by him. Really not comfortable in a high school on Halloween. These girls' costumes are inappropriate for 1. School, 2, 15 years old. Amazing things are happening over on the Twitter, the Bird app. God, Isaac's beef with this guy was kind of long. Wait, let me pull up why is he looking Harley has swapped places with the children. Now he watches them. Check his hard drive. I mean, the tweet says it. No wonder he is craving attention. Yeah, I mean, some of the things he's tweeted as well are insane. Sorry, I'm muting myself to cough and to burp. But, you know. You didn't say Zionist, though, did you? You're allowed to say Zionist. Look, I'm saying it right now. I will consider calling in if you acknowledge that you just changed the word from the KKK Jew hate slur to Zionist. What is he even talking about? Are we going to downplay the power of slurs right now? Is this the word Zionazi? That's hilarious. Are we going to downplay the power of slurs right now? You? That's crazy. You're on Twitter, so slur it up if you really want. You sound just like the people that like to use N-word and F-slur right now, by the way. It's just a word. Welcome to your racist era. You are such a snowflake. Laughing my ass off. You can't call me that when you spend all day crying over computer-generated images. What is he talking about? Also, by the way, he's claiming that he's not legal drinking age. Thank you. Also, claiming that he's not like a Nazi when he was associated with Sam Hyde is pretty insane. I'm not homophobic. That doesn't bother me. I'm not right-winged. A Nazi your sicko friends claim that I am. I probably agree with you on a lot of items, except the main difference is I don't believe that people from Israel should be exterminated for being Israelis. No one believes that here. Isaac doesn't believe that. I don't believe that. Just because Elon Musk is a... I'm not going to repeat that because I feel like that is definitely just like... I don't want to say that word. Like, why are you saying it? And I don't think Elon Musk is that. I think Elon Musk is a right-wing billionaire who is willing to support Israel. The word here on his website, on behalf of his genocidary master, doesn't mean that word is a racist slur. Lol, get a grip, Nazi scum. The word is a racist slur for Jewish people. Where does the word even come from? There's not much here about where it was coined. There's not that much this is a large group of followers consisted, as someone was talking about being a Nazi here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, lying about the genocide in Rafah lying about the extermination in Rafah is insane. And Isaac offered him out. You're welcome to call in and articulate to my face how calling you a Zionist and a Nazi is racist. You didn't say Zionist, though, did you? You're allowed to say Zionist. Look, I'm saying, oh, this is where the original thing came from. But yeah, amazing things are happening over on the X Everything app. He has a page on the reverse canary mission. Why is this photo like this? Why is it cut off at the top? This is not great work. Hold on. Oh my god. This is probably a goldmine of his content. Israel provides the US with advanced intelligence, military tech, collaborations, and a strategic ally in the Middle East. The US benefits from defense innovations, counter-terrorism support, and a stable partner in a geopolitically critical area. By the way, this sounds like a fucking AI written thing. Genuinely amazing. I like you, Harley, but the simple truth is the current Israeli government are doing genocide to a group of people. They're not innocent. They do it in the name of Judaism and use it as a shield. They do it because they don't want this group to exist. Jews are not okay with this. He posted open source intel. Thanks. Nobody is innocent in war. This isn't what a genocide looks like, by the way. Denying the genocide. Thank you, Epic Meal Times. Like, once again, but even if this was theoretically a slur, objectively, what he is doing here is just worse. Like, objectively, this is just worse. Like, going on and posting, there is no genocide in Gaza. Posting videos whilst there was, when was the 3-month blockade? This was during the 3-month blockade. I just wanted to check it. This was definitely during the 3-month blockade. Just amazing. Just genuinely amazing that this is what this guy posts. Not trying to justify war here. I'm demonstrating how it's not a genocide. Oh, God. The UAE like to propagandize and portray themselves as an advanced country by pretending everyone else in the Middle East is an Islamic savage. Oh, my God. By the way, these are ChatGPT style answers. Words are important. Nazi Germany committed genocide because the goal was the systematic extermination of a people. Israel is retaliating against Hamas's actions. Nazis wanted a world without Jews, full extermination. Israel seeks to eliminate Hamas, but allows Palestinians autonomy and engages in ceasefire negotiations. One is genocide, the other is a tragic war with asymmetric warfare challenges brought on by Hamas. Life was better for both on October the 6th. Fucking insane. Like, I'm sorry, all of this shit is far worse than anything that Isaac said or did. Like, what Isaac did wasn't even wrong. He called him a Zionist Nazi. That's what the words mean. Oh my God. Right, here we get him going in. USA money shot down 10,000 plus rockets in the past year. Those rockets were aimed at populated areas. If they weren't shot down, they would have killed millions. You literally prevented a genocide. Nice. You mean a genocide in Gaza? I do 100% agree. I do agree 100%. Where was this energy when the Netanyahu, the president of the US of America, was in the White House? There was a genocide attempt on Israel throughout 2023. Until now, 10,000 plus rockets were launched and aimed at populated areas. Israel's air defense system, made in collaboration with the USA, shot down 99% of them. One made it through and killed 12 children. They tried genocide. What an idiot indeed. Like, listen to this guy. Not apartheid. Palestinians, Christians, Arabs, Druze, and plenty of non-Jews live in Israel. Pre-October the 7th, Gazans could work in Israel, earning equal pay to Israelis. There is an Arab Muslim Supreme Court judge in Israel. That's not apartheid. Also, this isn't genocide. My God. My God, this is just the level of analysis from just the Ethan Klein fan base who claim that everyone is deranged on the internet. Those words and all the others words you type... Wait, what did he say? Israel allowed? Those 2 words alone should tell you something. The Jews were allowed into Palestine on a boat as refugees. Now fast forward 75 years. They are allowing aid into Palestine, the very land and people that accepted them as refugees. That they have taken over their land now. Those words and all the other words you typed don't tell me anything about genocide. They're pretty irrelevant to the discussion we were having. This video is proof that it's not a genocide, and that's why you started rambling. My God. Just Jesus Christ. The level of analysis. Brilliant things are happening. Epic Bacon Man tells us all about genocide.
We're live.
Harley, I'm not. Like, I don't like doing Israel's dirty work. Israel, sorry, Harley, cover your ears real quick.
Actually, you know what? I'm not watching painkiller podcast clips. I was about to play that. Fuck that. I am not watching this idiot talk anymore. He offered to call in and debate him, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do it. I don't know. It just feels like fucking stupid. This guy is just an idiot. Like, just straight up, this guy is just like a fucking idiot. He doesn't know anything about Palestine. He doesn't give a singular shit about people being killed. He looks to AI for his answers about why it's not a genocide. Just genuinely an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. Look what Laura Loomer has tweeted. The shooter was Indian and Italian. I thought he was Afghanistani or Pakistani. Mayor Kahana, this is Laura Loomer saying this. Mayor Kahana was right about everything. Then he was shot and killed by a Muslim in New York City for being right. We need to bring back the Jewish Defense League. By the way, the Jewish Defense League murdered multiple people. It was designated a terrorist organization in the US. This is an organization, Kahana was convicted, by the way. Yeah, I just wanted to double check this. Jewish Defense League murdered Alex Ode, who was like a kind of like two-state liberal kind of guy who wanted coexistence, and Kahana killed him. Kahana's followers killed him. And Laura Loomer says that he is right about everything. Unbelievable. Let's listen to the Kahana.
The Arab is a cancer in our midst. And you don't coexist with a cancer. A cancer you either cut out and throw out, or you die.
In America.
Mayor Kahana is like truly, is truly one of the worst extremists imaginable. Wait, actually, let's watch,
dominant personality in the Messianic camp in Israeli history. The founding father, you could say, of the Israeli Messianist camp is Meir Kahana, an American-born rabbi, came up here in New York, and it's not difficult to understand what his ideology is. You can just read his magnum opus, The Jewish Idea. It's a bit long, so you might want to just go for one of the other books he wrote, They Must Go.
I actually have a copy of They Must Go. I've never had the privilege of reading it. I may at some point.
Not really, you know, mincing his words here. He's just saying straight up, they must go. Straight up ethnic cleansing. But beyond that, here's just a couple of choice quotes so you can get a sense of the ideology that he that his followers imbibed from him. When I'm prime minister, no Arab will be hurt by Jewish terrorism because there won't be an Arab left in Israel. Here's another ditty. I want to remove the Arabs from Israel because I do not want to kill them every week.
It is actually amazing how Kahana just embodies the spirit of Israel so much. Like, genuinely, Kahana really does embody the spirit of Israel. I want to remove the Arabs from Israel because I do not want them to kill them every week. Like, Israel just kills huge amounts. By the way, also, Kahana's disciple, Ben Gvir, is like, Ben Gvir, like, wait. I mentioned this in the podcast. Hold on, I'll pull it up because it's worth watching.
ניסים לא קורים כל כך מהר, אנחנו צריכים לעבוד על זה. וזה הרב כהנא, מורי ורבי.
בצד הקיר תמונה נוספת. ברוך גולדשטיין, האיש שירה למוות ב-29 מתפללים מוסלמים על רקע מקום הטבח במערת המכפלה. רק שבתמונה צריח המסגד שנבנה מעל שבור.
יש כאן איזושהי אמירה בתמונה הזאת, אמירה מאוד מאוד מפורשת.
כשהבן שלך בא ושואל אותך, מי זה אבא, מי זה האיש הזה שם בתמונה?
אני אומר לו שהוא צדיק, אני אומר לו שהוא גיבור, אני אומר לו שזה רופא.
I say he is a righteous man, he is a hero. I say he is a doctor who saved the lives of Jews. This is our closest ally, by the way.
שהציל בחיים שלו יהודים.
אבל אני באמת שואל אותך, מה מבדיל בין מה שהוא עשה לבין מחבל פלסטיני שבא ומתפוצץ בבית כנסת?
שמיים וארץ, איך אתה משווה בכלל?
It's truly amazing, by the way, that this is like being endorsed. Kahana is a centrist in Israeli society. No, Kahana isn't a centrist in Israeli society for one exclusive reason. Kahana... What is going on? Kahana believes in the entire expulsion of all Palestinians who exist inside Israel. He believed in all of the expulsions. What is common about Kahana and his ideology now, or what's more, is like common talk of transfer. But Kahana's not even like... Kook is actually the bigger figure, but Kahana's politics have actually reached a point where they're loved.
Or how about this one? They will come...
Yes, him and Baruch Goldstein were both US citizens. You can read about him. Sean McGee has an interesting book about him. I don't know what it's called, but I'll put his name in if you want to read.
To me, bow to me, lick my feet, and I will be merciful and will allow them to leave. Whoever does not leave will be slaughtered. So
can you imagine if someone with the platform level of Laura Loomer had tweeted, Osama bin Laden was right in everything he said?
This is Kahanism, okay? There's no bones about it. This is where we're at. Now, admittedly, when Kahana, and of course, he now has legions of followers. People took to his vision. Now, the thing about Kahana is, and Kahanism, is it's most dangerous Dafka when there's a chance for peace. Exactly when maybe Israel will steer off the path of permanent apartheid, that's when they're most dangerous. When there's a thought that maybe they won't continue, it's the right word, lurch to the right, that's when they pull out the big guns. And we see this consistently time and time again in the late 70s, 1980s, when Egypt and Israel buried the hatchet, made a peace deal between Anwar Sadat and Menachem Begin. That's when the Kahanists implemented the plan, and they...
The book is all right. I don't know how much I value all of Sean McGee's opinions, though.
Plotted to blow up the Dome of the Rock, the Haram al-Sharif in the old city of Jerusalem, the most beautiful building in Palestine, one of the most important Muslim shrines.
Yeah, also, someone just mentioned this. Apparently Bob Dylan... wow, this is true. I assumed it was. Bob Dylan made positive comments about Kahana in a 1971 Time magazine. Dylan said, he's a really sincere guy. He's really put it all together. According to Kahana, Dylan attended several meetings of the JDL to find out what we're all about, and he started to have talks with the rabbis. Subsequently, Dylan downplayed the extent of his contact with Kahana. I don't know if it's in here. No, it's not. Hannah Arendt also donated to the Jewish Defense League initially, but not later on. Also, I don't know what's going on with
in the
this.
country and in the world. So Kahana sat in jail for 6 months for plotting to blow it up. And the hope was that by destroying it, this would cause a religious war between Jews and a billion Muslims all over the world, and there would be no more chance for peace, and that would be it, back to permanent war. And this is like a pattern that they repeated again and again. Now, if you can imagine, after this, after he plotted and sat in jail for wanting to blow up the Dome of the Rock, he was then elected to the Knesset.
This is also just a mad fact, by the way. I will look at Neighborhood Bully because that looks fucking crazy. But this kind of stuff, like the fact that he was elected to the Israeli Knesset after planning to blow up the Dome of the Rock is truly an unbelievable fact.
Now, when he was elected to the Knesset, we found something interesting. At that point, Israeli society was still not comfortable with Kahana, in the main. And so when he would come up and speak in front of the assembly.
Dylan and Cohn so disappointed. They were peace advocates, but not for Israeli crimes against humanity. Unfortunately, a lot of anti-war liberals in America at the time were not anti-Israel. They viewed Israel as part of left-wing politics. Like, for example, this is written by another book you can add, which I probably haven't put in there, is Stephen Salater, Nationalism. God, my PC is being really slow today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm just lagging a bit or what. I'm going to close some tabs, but yeah. But yeah, I like some of Bob Dylan's music, I'm going to be frank.
Members of the ruling party would walk.
Oh, sorry. Stephen Salater talks about how many of the people who originally went and settled in the West Bank were leftists who opposed the Iraq War.
Walk out. Even the right-wing Likud party, its members would walk out of the Knesset plenum because they just couldn't countenance his...
By the way, if you ever want a trick for finding out more about Kahana and finding bizarre videos of him, you can go and search his name in Hebrew and you'll get a load of results.
Open, unabashed racism. It was just too much for them. That's where Israeli society was in the 1980s. And eventually, he was turfed out of the Knesset. The Knesset passed a law that said a party that espouses racism as part of its ideology cannot stand for election. And so he was no longer able to run for the Knesset. But of course, as I said, he had legions of followers.
This is such an important photo that I don't think many people have seen. God. This is Baruch Goldstein alongside Kahana.
Soon afterwards, one of those followers from his party, Baruch Goldstein, as you may know, again, with the same idea of trying to prevent any possibility of peace, when in the early 1990s you had the Oslo peace process. For good and bad, we can talk about that later, but at least it was an attempt to try to end decades of war and ethnic cleansing between, and fierce hatred between Israelis and Palestinians. So when this happened, when there was a possibility of peace, that's when Baruch Goldstein and the Kahanas stepped up, and Goldstein went into, again, one of the most important places for Jews and for Muslims, the holy shrine in Khalil, in Hebron.
I just want to check that he doesn't show anything that's problematic here.
And
okay, no, he doesn't.
Stepped up, and Goldstein went into, again, one of the most important places for Jews and for Muslims, the holy shrine in Khalil, in Hebron. And at this, the Cave of the Patriarchs, he came in and he massacred the biggest mass murder in Israeli history. He murdered 29 Palestinians and injured over 100, wounded over 100. Now, Goldstein was just one Kahanist killer. There's been dozens of Kahanist killers, over 20 at least. He had the biggest death count, but many have that, have that record. But what was most powerful about Goldstein's massacre, not only did he have the highest death toll, but he succeeded in killing Oslo, because 40 days after this horrific massacre, exactly 40 days, which is the Muslim mourning period, the Arba'in, exactly 40 days later, that's when Hamas began for the first time its suicide bombing campaign in 48 Israel, exactly 40 days later.
This is the whole video, Kahanistan, is really good. I'd recommend that you'd watch it. But like listening to Rabbi Kahana is truly an amazing thing. Like hearing what he has to say about politics and stuff is interesting to say the least. There are loads of interviews as well of him online.
Who is Rabbi Meir Kahana?
Okay, I have found a crazy fucking video.
He is
okay, I need to check whether this music is copyrighted. Oh, I really want to watch this video. Oh, I bet this is fucking copyrighted. It looks that there's like an amazing...
Considered by Maud. You
served in the army.
Oh, wait. We are watching this.
Years ago, I served in the army. In Samaria.
Top 7 Kahana moments of respect. Mayor Kahana's greatest moment.
On the West Bank. In Ramallah, the Arabs rioted. So they sent me there to put down the riots. Now I want you to know that not 5 minutes passed. The word spread through that town like lightning. Kahana.
It is also crazy, by the way, that YouTube allows this. Just like a video called Greatest Uncensored, Mayor Kahana's Top 7 Moments. Imagine if there was a video called Bin Laden... Actually, now I've got to check. Is there a video, Bin Laden Top 7 Moments?
The rioting stopped. It's important that every one of you know what the name Kahana means to the Arabs. It means terror. They're afraid. And that's the only language they understand. And for those nice Jews sitting here who say, that's terrible, let me just repeat what Moshe Aaron's once said to a group of UJA givers in Jerusalem. One Jew got up and he said, why must there always be war? Why can't we sit down with the Arabs, coffee and cake, and we work the problem out? And he said, sir, this is the Middle East, not the Middle West.
This guy fucking loves Kahana, and I agree with your comment. The one that's, look at this Nazi sat there in rapt awe, watching his hero talk about massacring brown people. 100%.
That's right. It's the Middle East. And that's what the Arabs know and understand. If you're good to them, you're not good, you're weak. And if you're weak, you're dead. And if you're strong, they listen to you. I don't expect them to love me. I'm not the kind of Jew who walks around begging people to love him. I'm sick and tired of being... You know when people love us? After every Holocaust. That's when they...
He's pre-watched it and he's ready for the moments to put his finger up.
love us. That's when they love us. That's when they give us...
So, what he's done there is...
plaques and monuments, and Jimmy Carter gives us a Holocaust commission. Well, I'm tired of plaques and... I don't want love, I want respect.
How could a religious man of your stature continue to...
How are there... Oh my god, this account just like posts Kahana clips. The best pro-Israel argument you will ever hear at Jewish Uncensored. By the way, this account, I was wondering if it would be. Patrick Bet David sends cold-blooded message to Muslims after synagogue shooting. UAE minister has prophetic warning about Islam that is going viral. Ugh. Netanyahu has a harsh message for Australian Prime Ministers. Arab host, when Hamas activists Watch Hamas activist face when Piers Morgan reads his anti-Semitic remarks live. Somali Muslim immigrant tries playing victim to Australian senator. Gets owned, I assume. Muslim student shamefaced when Arab Zionist dares to ask her question. Watch Muslim host seethe in anger when Douglas Murray exposes Islamic countries. There are 319,000 subscribers. Oh my God. Look who's in the picture under me. Look who's in the picture. He's there. Of course he is. Watching over us. It's Charlie K. Charlie, how are you doing? You look insane in that photo. You look like a baby. I don't know why. You look like a baby's face put on an adult wearing a suit. It is brilliant. And then you have Mossab Hassan Youssef, son of Hamas, a genuine extremist. Noah Tishby, Hila Klein's favorite content creator, and Dennis Prager. I mean, the funny thing is only 2 of these people are Jewish, right? Like Mossab Hassan Youssef is Palestinian, don't know, a Muslim, or he was. And then you have Charlie Kirk. This is amazing. I'm really enjoying seeing what Jewish Uncensored thinks is positive. New merch just dropped. Oh my God, I am going to need some pro-Israel merch.
To oppress Palestinians in the same way the Nazis oppressed the Jewish people during World War II?
You know, I just love that kind of question. You people tried to kill us in the 1920s. In one day in 1929, you murdered 67 Jews in Hebron. What was bothering you then? The Jewish state? It didn't exist. The
Zionist project did exist at that point, obviously.
Army? It didn't exist. Kahana? He wasn't born. You murdered 510 Jewish men, women, and children between 1936 and 38. What was bothering you then? The occupied territories of 67? You started 3 wars with us, and you lost. And now you cry.
This is a really unusual video where he's just sitting there and just going... He's talking to a Palestinian.
If you hadn't started the wars with us, you would have had a Palestine a long, long time ago. We'd have been living together, side by side. You didn't want that. You wanted everything. You started, you lost, you lose.
Why do we play games with them? It is precisely the leftists and the liberals who have contempt for the Arabs. They think that if we will give them...
Did you notice he had to edit this because he got an iMessage? What does the iMessage say? Hold on. Group links 500 plus members. What the fuck?
They think that if we will give them higher living standards, an indoor toilet, they'll be good Arabs. What contempt. You can't buy a person's national pride with an indoor toilet, with higher living standards. The Arab is a proud person.
The Jewish people who lived in Hebron, by the way, had lived there for a long time.
And the only Jew that understands the Arab is a Jew who was a proud person. I understand the Arabs.
He loved Zayev Jabotinsky, by the way. He also loved Menachem Begin, but then Menachem Begin signed the Camp David Accords and he just started hating him.
They understand me. That's why they must go.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
As for racism, you are not a racist. That is your point of view, the stand you take. Yes?
I'm not a racist, right?
Arabs are human beings, Jews are human beings.
Right.
So, how then can you argue from the point of view, from the underlying racist assumptions that Jews have certain rights to the land that Arabs have, that Palestinians have? It's the same land, people were born, same place. How can you say that you're not racist, yet advocate that argument?
For the simple reason that they don't believe that we have the right to the land. It's that simple. Short answer, pithy. That's it. Did it penetrate?
No, it didn't. That's
Freshmen always have problems. Now.
I'm not a freshman.
Oh, sophomores are even worse.
Not a sophomore either. I'm not a bigot either.
That's really a joke. That is really a joke. I have a very, very great sense of humor. On Sunday, 3 Jews were murdered in Jerusalem. I didn't hear the UN condemn the Arabs for murdering those Jews. I waited and 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 nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I certainly didn't shed any tears over Kahana's death. I mean, I wasn't born yet. It was 10 years before I was born, but I wouldn't have shed a single fucking tear.
I didn't hear the new Jewish agenda condemn them. I didn't hear Peace Now condemn them. Violence is...
Oh my god, there's like epic Sigma music, which is definitely copyrighted.
Of Jewish AIDS, it's called guilt. AIDS. Specific form of AIDS. A specific form of Jewish AIDS, it's called guilt.
I'm sorry, I can't watch that because it's got music on it. But a specific form of Jewish AIDS! Wow, this guy is very, very, very profound. There's a great video that I want to find of like, I don't know if any of you have ever seen it. It's like young UN people meet from all over the world. I'd love to watch it, but I don't think I'm going to find it.
Beef over at CBS.
Back in 2016.
Right, okay, I think probably we'll call the stream there, because I've been live for just over nearly 3.5 hours. I guess I'll look at chat a little bit before I go, because, yeah. Ain't no way. I mean, amazing stuff. The face when the Jewish supremacists do anti-Semitism better than the anti-Semites. Yeah, I mean, I don't think... Kahana was a very, very interesting character. The FBI solicited Kahana and the JDL, you mean, not JFK, I know what you mean, multiple times to get them to attack Black Panthers formations. The records on this are so wild. What? Where are the records of this? I would love to see them. I would love to see the records. I'll sit and look at chat for a little bit because we're not even at 3 hours and a half. Sorry, I'm muting my mic for that, but oh well. I kind of stopped it before I did. I'm gonna stay on for a little bit. Sorry, I said I was gonna go, but I'll just sit and talk to you for a second. Fascinating how evil he was. Yeah, Kahana is a pretty risible individual. He's a very interesting character. I'd love to see the records about that. Actually, you know what? I could probably just search them. Oh, wait. But yeah. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Chris, have you read Slow Mo Sand? I haven't read Slow Mo Sand. No, unfortunately not. Oh shit, I know what you wanted me to do. You wanted me to read through this Bob Dylan song. Well, the neighborhood bully, he's just one man. His enemies say he's on their land. They got him outnumbered about 1,000,000 to 1. He got no place to escape, no place to run. He's the neighborhood bully. The neighborhood bully just lives to survive. He's criticized and condemned for being alive. He's not supposed to fight back. He's supposed to have thick skin. He's supposed to lay down and die when his door is kicked in. He's the neighborhood bully. The neighborhood bully been driven out of every land. He's wandered the earth an exiled man. Seen in his family scattered. His people hounded and torn. He's always on trial just for being born. He's the neighborhood bully. Well, he knocked out a lynch mob. He was criticized. Old women condemned him, said he should apologized. Then he destroyed a bomb factory. Nobody was glad. The bombs were meant for him. He was supposed to feel bad. He's the neighborhood bully. Well, oh my god, this song is so... There are 11 verses. Oh my god. Well, the chances are against it, and the odds are slim, that he'll live by the rules that the world makes for him, because there's a noose at his neck and a gun at his back, and a license to kill him is given out to every maniac. He's the neighborhood bully. Do you like my performance of this song? No, he's talking about Israel. He got no allies to really speak of. What he gets, he must pay for. He don't get it out of love. He buys obsolete weapons, and he won't be denied. But one sends flesh and blood to fight by his side. He's the neighborhood bully. Well, he's surrounded by pacifists who all want peace. They pray for it nightly that the bloodshed must cease. Now they wouldn't hurt a fly. To hurt one, they would weep. They lay down and wait for this bully to fall asleep. He's the neighborhood bully. Every empire that's enslaved him is gone, Egypt and Rome, even the great Babylon. He's made a garden of paradise in the desert sand, in bed with no body, under no one's command. He's the neighborhood bully. Holy shit, Bob Dylan was racist. Verse 9. Now his holiest books have been trampled upon. No contract he signed was worth was what it was written on. He took the crumbs of the world and he turned it into wealth. Took sickness and disease and he turned it into health. What's anybody indebted to him for? Nothing, they say. He just likes to cause war. Pride and prejudice, superstition indeed. They wait for this bully like a dog waits to feed. He's the neighborhood bully. What has he done to wear so many scars? Does he change the course of the rivers? Does he pollute the moon and the stars? Israel, by the way, does change the course of rivers and water flow. Neighborhood bully standing on the hill, running out the clock, time standing still. Neighborhood bully. Wow. That is amazing. Thank you, Mr. Bob Dylan, for your beautiful song about Israel. Truly amazing. Wow. I guess that's where we'll end it. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for showing me this beautiful Bob Dylan song. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. And I'll be back live tomorrow. Thank you all. Go watch No Politic Here. Go watch the VODs. Shout out Ethan's Basement as always. But yeah, see you guys later. Tomorrow. Thank you all. Go watch No Politic Here. Go watch the VODs. Shout out Ethan's Basement.